This is the kind of shit. Can I just say?
Yes,
this is the
please.
kind of shit they never let us say on the ABC, and they certainly never let us say on Channel 7.
When the fuck did that happen in the movie?
Remember when Pierce Brosnan went to hell?
Was it my ex muscle? I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. This guy's like, ah!
Mark Wahlberg in the film Shooter that Pete thought was called Sniper.
Pull the face right now.
There it is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Will, find me a gavel now. Just now. Lucky progress. A million years hard time. Go fuck yourself.
There you go, Will.
Kick it off. Peter Burns.
I know, I just can't remember.
Okay, so the first thing that you want
Unskippable cutscenes.
Game design prison.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Hello, welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday, the 10th of June, live from the Loki Studios. I am your host, Nick Boy Richardson, and even though Steph is not here,
Accurate.
accurate, the five of us are going to put forth our E3 predictions in 2 hours on one show. I forgot the rest of it. I got thrown by the fact that the camera wasn't on me, Pete.
Why do you need the camera all the time?
Because I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Gus, and I'm feeling brown. Next to me? Why don't people say, I'm feeling blue, because they're wearing blue, and I'm like, I realize I'm all in brown, and so I'm feeling
No one
brown.
says I'm feeling blue because they're wearing blue.
You idiot.
Are they?
That's
You
not the
huge
expression.
idiot.
Pete,
God.
you're looking blue.
I'm feeling blue right now. Tell you what.
I'll tell you what. Look,
Look how offset. You must have been leaning hard left.
I think I was. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hi. You've noticed that Steph isn't here. We just decided there were too many women on the show.
Will wrote that line.
That was a Will.
Will
That was
wrote
a
that
Will
line.
Yates special.
Don't you dare throw him under the bus for such a terrible line.
You should hear him when the cameras aren't on. No, Steph is feeling quite sick tonight,
Yeah.
so she just thought it would be best that she stays home and gets better. We agree. Also, it's snowing at
Yeah.
your house,
It was
and
snowing
that's a
this
very
morning, yeah.
nice day to be home with a
You're
blankie.
feeling crook, had a bit of a snotty nose, and it started snowing, and you just rugged up on a couch near a fire. Is your fireplace working?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you having worked on your place.
Yeah.
It sucks to not have the fireplace.
It just needs wood and fire.
Okay, right. Those two ingredients. Yeah, I would totally be staying home if I could. But I'm here.
In Pete's jacket, I believe.
So, this is the same style jacket as Pete had last week.
Not same style. It is the exact
Eagle-eyed
jacket.
viewers will know that this is the exact same one.
Eagle-eyed.
Sorry, not the exact same one. Because when Pete bought that jacket, he turned up to a party, and I just went like, I want it.
Yeah.
I want that jacket so bad. Everyone knows I want everything that Pete wears apart from tonight.
6th of June, 11:16 a.m. Gus to Peter. Your industry brown jacket is in a large, right? Medium.
Thumbs up.
What size did you get?
Medium.
Yeah, nice.
However, Pete's is still nicer, but Pete's is sold out. You can't find it anywhere. His is
right.
tobacco.
Yep.
This is cigar brown.
What, really?
The colours. Like his
No,
is
that's cigar brown.
No, it's stupid.
That's
called-
camel.
That's
That's clearly camel.
It's the MIG. It's from Industry, not sponsored. Happy to be. Peter's is still the nicer one that I would happily trade for him if he ever wanted to.
Yeah, you used to do better work, industry.
Yeah.
I should point out that I'm dressed tonight by a little bit myself and a lot more Ninja Pyro, who this piece of art was a gift to Dusk Bunny for her birthday. That is Dusk Bunny skipping rope with Lady D. And they're having a great time. And Ninja Pyro put it on a shirt for me. And Nick, you're also dressed a little bit by Ninja
I'm
Pyro.
dressed a lot by Ninja Pyro because Ninja Pyro sent a shirt for me. On the back of this shirt, it says Nick's Guide to Sex, Steps 1 through 9. Step 1, refer to front. And then on the front, it says Nick's Beginner Guide, P and V, P and M, P and A, P and PH, which is P-hole, F and V, F and A, F and M, T and A, T and V, T and M, and then at the bottom it says I want
it all now.
And Ninja Pyro seems to have ticked the ones that they're into,
Yeah.
That's a fun way to...
or has
which is most of them.
or has accomplished in their lifespan so far.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way.
I
Yeah.
think it's that.
So that is this is a fantastic shirt.
Was that a post-show conversation? I don't think it was. Maybe it was.
No, you brought that up in the
No,
main
that
show,
feels
yeah.
like something that I would have brought out for them.
Shouldn't have
That's
been.
that's worthy. That's worthy. I think what it was is as I was saying it, I was like, this should not be on a show that we're trying to sell to sponsors.
Yeah. Industry would never
not
be into-
sponsor us.
No,
for that.
they're not P
Same
and
Jacket
PH.
Bros.
No.
Got it.
I will say that we realised there was no alcohol, and please, if you would pour the Arcadian Tryst, Angus, open it with a flourish the same way you did the beers last week. We realised there was no. Ah! You fucking idiot! Right on the new shirt. Oh.
So much wine everywhere. You fuck.
Not that much.
You fuck.
It's not that much. How much would everyone like?
I think
I've had enough, thank you.
bucks.
I've had enough.
Oh.
I'm the one with the expensive jacket.
Thank you very much. So we realized there was no alcohol, and so I ordered Jimmy Brings,
That's not a pour.
and I went down to
you.
the front
That's
to
enough.
get it, and the guy, and I was wearing this t-shirt, and the guy just looked at the front, and he was like, and then I turned around, and I could feel his eyes boring into the back as he read what the shirt is actually for. And also when I was down there, when I ordered the wine, I also noticed that I could order condoms.
Yes.
And I was like, why not? They may come in handy at some point. And then Pete reminded me, Nick, you're ordering 6 bottles of wine and condoms to an office block, and like there's a crazy party going on upstairs.
The people across the hall, the
The accountants,
the studio
architects?
across the hall, is a very, very cool studio. And I've had chats with them, and like the first few months we didn't have any interactions with them other than like we would like nod as we would both enter our different rooms. And they were like, we thought you guys were making porn.
Did they really?
Yeah.
It's literally like we've got a lot of neon lights.
So
You know,
funny.
We've got a lot of
You're not making it, us look any better.
We've got a lot of rugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
totally true.
Yep.
All right, Will, how are you?
I've never made porn.
That just can't be
That-
true.
With that mustache? I don't believe that for a second.
Well, what brown is your jacket? Because I like the color
true.
from here.
I believe that's porn butthole.
Oh God.
Really? Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
where we draw the line.
Is that where? Oh, was that
Porn
the line?
butthole is where we
Was
draw
that
the
the
line.
line?
Which
Yeah.
really?
You know, Steph's watching right now.
I
She's
know.
really disappointed.
I want to bring this one back to that, which would be not brown.
That's true. Well, okay, yeah. Well, okay. No, you know what? This
Let's
is
move on,
post-show
please.
conversation. Let's move on because we've got a lovely show for you tonight with a bunch of
Lovely.
interesting things and exciting stuff to talk about. And a lot of the stuff that we like to talk about in this show is video games. So let's start off by talking about video games with the segment we like to call. Let's talk about the video games.
That's what it's called.
Brought to you by Brent Jones, aka LokiCat. Well, what you all been playing? I mean, Gus hates it. And it was kind of the first thing that we came up with in a way that, well, technically we didn't even come up. It's not like that was the segment name. I think it's
No.
just what I wrote in the script for the first one, and then we kind of just named it after.
I actually
right?
recall I was probably blatantly trying to rip off. Is it Good Mythical Morning? Will you know?
That's a
you're big
thing?
fan of them.
That's a thing?
They put like a fun. Okay, there's the nod.
Once more?
Yep, there it is. They name all their segments with like a fun rhyming sentence.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's going to be our thing. And then it just quickly turned into, what the fuck is this segment called? One of them is literally called, what the fuck did you say to me?
Maybe.
Like, what's that about? And it's still got the old Rhys logo on it.
It does.
It's better.
Well, I guess we only ever need to use that one once, right?
I know,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
showed
yeah,
up
yeah,
more
yeah,
than
yeah,
some of the
yeah,
other
yeah,
ones we've
That's
done.
true. A massive thank you to LokiCat for sponsoring the segment that we all just admitted, well, we could probably do better on name.
I think the name's great.
Do you?
Yeah, it's charismatic.
Yeah.
I think if you call, like, what else are you going to call it? The games we've been playing.
No,
this week.
it's got to have it'll either have the word back or pocket.
Yeah.
No, you keep calling it
Pocket
Our Gaming
Played.
Week.
Oh, yeah,
Our gaming
that's
week.
what
Our Gaming Week
I'm
sounds
just saying
like-
what you've been playing is great, and then our gaming week is like the ethos behind the cooler title.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it's cool.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Like LokiCat. Is he a bird? No, he's cool. I don't know where that was. Will, cut from me. Cut away. Nice.
Oh, God, not me. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the games that we've been playing this week. Peter, you can kick us off with something that you've been very excited about playing.
Jesus,
Chivalry
we need
2.
Steph.
I know. She's the anchor.
She's
Steph is the anchor.
She's the anchor. I was going to
She is
say
the mucus that
binds
binds.
us. There it is.
Yeah, I've been playing Chivalry 2, which I've talked about. Actually, sorry, I was going to start by just briefly mentioning last week I said I would flawless Destiny 2,
Yep.
and we went ahead and did it.
We don't talk enough
By
about
George,
Destiny
we've
2.
done it. Bring up that little pic for us, will you, Will? Look
at that.
There they are, the stars. Mad Dog, Vale 4, Rhys Wild, Avexia, and Eva Ray. Legends, one and all. And we flawless it like the next night. We flawless it, I think, on the Friday night after the Thursday show where we failed the first time. So it took us about 8 attempts and we got it.
Cool.
Very good.
That's
What's that
great.
game called again?
That's called Destiny 2.
Fascinating.
2.
Little indie hit.
A sequel. And, of course, I've talked about the beta of Chivalry 2, which is the medieval action slash-thon that's more a joke than a real video game and is perfect for it. And I think we've all dabbled in it this week.
We have, yep.
I'll tell you who else is dabbling in. Cedo's partner, who is playing Chivalry 2 currently right now in the other room.
Oh, my goodness.
And when they heard us say the word Chivalry 2, just yelled out, "Hell yeah!"
Not only is delightful,
love that.
but it also plays into the fact that
What a
everyone
cool
who plays this
household.
game just goes, "Hell yeah!" As they run into
For that guy we like. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Chivalry. You have as well.
Have I?
I am thoroughly charmed by this video game.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's the Chivalry I think was like 2000 and the first Chivalry 2015 maybe.
That sounds about right.
And it kind of came out after a couple of obviously Mountain Blade was this kind of the first game that kind of came out to go like, hey, this kind of medieval combat with a mouse and keyboard could be fun. And then we saw War of the Roses. We've seen Ubisoft buy into the idea with their thing For Honor.
Yep.
And then Chivalry came along and was a really fun one. And Chivalry 2 has just like hunkered down on the things that make them fun, which is being charmingly absurd. You scream your way into battle. There's a prompt to scream, to war cry, and that's the kind of tone this game sets. And it's just about chopping off limbs, and it's like a 5-point rush mode. If anyone's played Battlefield, it's like little objectives, and when an attacking team takes a point, it kind of like the timer resets and it moves back to the next part of the mission.
I've been playing this
It's a
game
lot of fun.
first person. Have I been doing it wrong?
No, first person is the way to play it.
Okay, right.
Footage is just someone playing in first person,
cool.
but it kind of depends. Like you can kind of like cheat around corners a little bit if you're in third person, but it's like it's not.
I was surprised at how deep is probably not the word I'm looking for, but
Technical though.
yeah, technical is probably more the word.
It's got a great tutorial. Not just the voice acting from the guy.
Voice
running
acting for
into
that
it.
tutorial is so
You
funny.
will take this sword and run and he's just like yeah.
Next, I'm supposed to teach you how to block. I don't think you should be taught this, but apparently I have to.
But it goes on, and all these games that are first-person melee games, they need to have more than just like attack and block. And there's riposte, there's stamina, there's beating someone with the other end of the weapon.
But it's more for me, it's more the momentum thing of not just a swing, but you swing and then you and
Turn
I
your
think
body.
it does a great description of it, which is like pretend that your mouse is your hips, and you're turning your hips to get like the swing in and stuff, and that adds a whole other element of like speed and strength. And
I remember being a thing that kind of came into play we played heaps of War of the Roses. That was something you were never taught, but could help you fight better. So it's cool that this game has gone, hey, this is something you should embrace, and this is something we're going to teach everyone, because people clearly were getting better at those mouse and keyboard sword fighting games by doing that, and it was feeling like you were either sort of not exploiting it, but you were finding a technical workaround, which is they're like, hey, yeah, let's make it part of the combat. Let's teach everyone how to fight properly.
And while it's like a complex thing to do with a mouse, it's like it's not necessarily super intuitive to start off with. I think it's probably the best version of it. There's been some ones that try to be complex for the sake of making it interesting, like the way that you flick your wrist as you do the attack actually shapes the way that you attack.
Like a circle indicator for your block, and you have to put it in the right spot exactly to block the sword.
Which I don't think are bad. I don't think are bad mechanics, but I think the point of this is to be actiony, arcadey, and fun quickly. And I think the slightly simpler but still a bit of a learning curve really lends itself well to this. And it's fun, and you're in and playing after a couple of rounds. You kind of know exactly how to have fun, and then you might get better and better and better as you learn more skill.
And particularly because most of that stuff is coming from the movements with your hips and stuff. is additive. You still you still do the swing if you click left mouse button no matter what. So it's like it's actually just improving your swing. So you can still go in there and fight and then figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
And I love like the game does a very bad job at selling itself when you're not watching it, because I've always just seen it as medieval whatever.
Sure.
Looks, and I just didn't realize how much fun it is, how silly it is, how like when you die and then you respawn and your character is already running when you come in.
Yep.
You're already charging, and then it's like you just take control of them and point them in the direction and then take it. And it's like that nice idea of just like you die and then you just are on the edge of the battlefield and you're already like, coming back in. It's great.
I love as well that just the idea with these like melee based fighters is they just bring on such a different like sort of way of play or dynamic way of play, which is not a shooter, which is that you could get killed at any point. You know, you've got to use cover. It's like you can stand out in the field and have a look around and be like, okay, and you mentioned this when you first mentioned this game, but it's like you can see one guy on the other team and be like, there's 3 of us, like we can get him. Or there's one of my mates having a fight, I'm going to go help him out. Like it is a game of numbers, and it's moving that cluster around into the right position. Occasionally you will find yourself up against, and I did when I played it, like an absolute top of the scoreboard pro.
Yep.
And he was just thrashing and he just knew every counter and he was, wiping out wave after wave of us. But we still got him eventually. It's like, I don't know, someone really good at a shooter could just own everyone. Whereas like, there's still a chance you can get in there with a good blow and knock someone down. I've just found
and you can easily team up on someone in the battlefield who looks like they're dominating.
Totally,
Everyone just charge and stab.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really love about the gameplay is most of the modes are there's team deathmatch and there's free for all and stuff like that, but mostly we're seeing stop the siege towers here. There's really cool, interesting, big like set pieces.
Yeah.
It's not battlefield epic, but they are epic, and the respawn is set on a like 15-second timer, so you don't just like die and then respawn. You respawn on the timer with the rest of your teammates that died, so you do feel like you're on a charge. Reinforcements running into the battle, and there's just something like there's a momentum to it that's just really fun.
And that seems to push back and forth. There's an ebb and flow to all the objectives where it's not just like our team is getting screwed. Suddenly we're like, oh, we can't lose, and then you'll just see like 10 of them run over the hill and you're like, we only have 4 of us, like we're screwed now. So the way it sort of it does throw waves at each other, it makes for an interesting.
There seems to be a pretty good balance of like the tug of war of it, because the better that the blue team does in this situation, pushing the siege towers towards the wall, the further away they are when they respawn.
Yeah, right.
So there's a good the midpoint of that checkpoint up the top. It's really about the 80% point is the sweet spot. That's where you see for most objectives in the game where it kind of will sit it'll sit on 80% finished for like 80% of the timer, and then it'll go either way.
Yep.
It'll be that the attacking team finally gets the upper hand, or they just can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good little balance, because it always feels like both teams are on the edge.
Edge of something.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And it also does a good job of, all war is objectively stupid, but this kind of skirmish warfare with swords, the first time I ran into battle, and particularly like first-person perspective, big monitor, and you run in and you just see like 8 people clash in the middle of a field randomly, and everyone's kind of like looking around going like, who do I hit? And it's kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, like so much of the time they must have, during the Crusades, all those people would have just been going like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I could just go get a house in a village somewhere. No one would know. No one would know. I can speak French.
Yeah. There's no, the census is only like half okay. They actually don't know who you are and where you are.
Yeah.
The game, I see a lot of people asking, is it on console? It is on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series as well. So I haven't played it on console, so I can't speak to how well it plays or how it controls with a controller. But I can tell you it is very fun on PC.
And it's one of those games that we've played similar ones. I know we haven't had a chance to all play online together, but it is great with mates, because it is that thing of like, it's slow enough opposed to a shooter that you can be like, okay, there they are, we can team up, we can all try our best to pick each other up. And it's not like I've played shooters where I'm on the same team as my mates and we just never see each other. We just run around.
Or you just like respawn, you're running and you just get sniped.
Yeah, exactly.
that
Whereas
just kind of
here you can say,
doesn't
hey, let's
happen
do a
as
big
much.
flank around the side of the map and do something, actually communicate properly. And then just watching your friend get the head lopped off. It's like, oh, okay, we're leaving.
So, speaking of which, Will, do we have that clip I sent?
Oh, yeah.
We do.
So I was in the tutorial and I was working my way through and I killed one of the people in the tutorial and their leg came off. And I was like, ooh, chopped off a leg. That's impressive.
Yeah.
And then I chopped off, I sort of hacked away at them again and I chopped off the other leg and then an arm. And I was like, oh my goodness. What happens if I chop the head? And so the body is on the ground, and then I chopped the head off, and the head came off. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I picked up the head, and I could hold the head. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll throw the head. And Will,
Let's see that head.
I tried to throw the head, and I couldn't throw the head, and I couldn't pick up a sword.
Oh my
And so I had to
goodness.
complete the rest of this part of the tutorial
God.
holding a head.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
And there was no way that I could throw it, get rid of it, and I couldn't.
Did you
spawn
try?
another
Did you?
sword.
Do you remember if you hit G? Because G is like when you're in the game, you can. It's probably just a bug in the tutorial.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it did not work at all. And so I had to beat this guy. I had to take a hit, block, and recover using the head. And every time it comes up close, that's the block.
Oh my
press A to skip.
goodness.
So yeah, very, very enjoyable.
Thank you, William. That's enough of that.
Yeah, so that was a nice little. It was at that point I was like, yeah, I like this.
I'm on board. I'm on board.
5 minutes into the tutorial, you run into a bug, and you're like, "Yeah, this is the game
Yeah,
for me.
don't-
This is the game for me."
Well, it was one of those bugs where it's just like, I'll allow it. That's-
Yeah.
yeah, this is a good story. And it was. It killed 45 minutes of showtime, and that's really all that I care about when I play video games anymore. Is like, will this eat up some back pocket chat time?
Come on now.
That's what I need.
Cat's out of the bag.
Is that all you've been playing, Peter? Oh no, you've been playing one other thing, but
But I'll let you. I'll let you.
me-
I'll let you
you'll let
take
me
lead
take
on that.
lead
one.
on
You can
that
take
one.
lead on that one.
Angus Ronald.
Cool. Speaking of games that I've been playing to talk about on the show that have not been as entertaining as Chivalry 2, maybe not as polished, a little wonky. Found a couple of them this week. They can't all be gems.
Dud heaven.
I am in dud heaven at the moment. I'll
Oh.
kick things off with I was super keen to check out Maneater, which is the shark simulator, because it's just been everywhere. It's been in front of me on every console that I've booted up, including the Switch. And it was just like, this is a shark simulator game in which
You played on the Switch?
I did not. I played it on. It's on.
Thank God.
Yeah, I think it's on
Thank
Game.
God.
It's on.
You have to be stopped.
I know. I would not play this game on that. But I played this on Xbox. It's on Game Pass, and I just had to give it a shot. I am absolutely terrified of sharks. I was like, maybe I can get a handle on my fear, and so I dived in just to see how the actual game plays and what the point of it is, that sort of thing. And it did nothing to impress me. If we skip a little further forward through the tutorial, you begin as a big shark, and then you.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
No, my point is you begin as a fully grown, full powered up shark, like any game that then says we're going to take those powers away.
Staying on that camera.
You're a big shark. Moving on.
Next game.
Next game. It's just dumb and arcadey. I think there's actually it starts as a dumb arcade game where you're just thrashing about. You're pretty much invincible. You're grabbing swimmers in the bay. You're mashing buttons to do combos of like you grab one, then you press the
This
button.
all
more to
sounds
munch
great.
them.
How is this not good?
It just doesn't feel very fun to play. It's one of those things I just didn't get into the way it controlled the point of it. It's like you grab the something to eat, you mash buttons to chew them down. You can use a tail whip to fling them into other things. The hunters come for you eventually, and they're shooting at you. So I don't know. Just nothing gelled with me on this. And then after a little further into this tutorial, this shark is killed. Spoilers, and you start as a little shark.
There he is.
Because that shark
cute.
was pregnant. There's this weird kind
Oh
of like
God! What?
there's this weird kind of like Deadliest Catch
cut you.
documentary happening, but the characters and the voice acting are really not very good. I found it really on the really painful.
So I'm sorry. You're playing as the
baby
baby
shark.
that was cut out of the mother.
Yes.
That was murdered.
Yep, and then you begin in like a swamp as a smaller sort of bull shark. And then the thing that I thought might have been fun,
Yeah, it's
based
less
on
funny.
the thing that might have been fun is that you're filling up your feed meter as you eat, and the idea being is that you evolve, and that's how you level up the shark. You get bigger, you get more powers, you can change the colors of it, and you can turn into a big killing machine, which I thought would be fun, but it took so long. And the first thing that I was hit with was a giant skill tree that all just felt like forced in RPG elements to a dumb arcade game.
That's Mother Nature.
I'm just that's like the same reaction I had to God of War.
Ooh, okay. I was a big man.
It's like,
I'm a
Big man. Cut Kratos open.
boy.
It just didn't really. Not even the swimming around felt that fun. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure heaps of people have played this. It's been out for so long, and I thought maybe being free on Game Pass, it might be something just to while away the time. A dumb, brainless kind of game. But yeah, I just did nothing to draw me back into it.
So can I ask? I want to get into your brain.
Sure, please.
I want to understand you, Ronald.
What makes me tick?
Yeah, and you have a fear of sharks, as you said. And what was the idea behind you saying, like, see if you can get over or conquer that fear? Was it the fact that you could control the thing that you're scared of?
Maybe I just see.
But that's not a relationship. So
I don't know. I just thought maybe like I would finally see why they're not scary. And this game's like, hey, you eat everything. I'm like, they're scarier.
yeah, that is. That's why I was curious because I was like, this is behavior that sharks rarely do.
Yes.
And if anything, that's more terrifying than.
Yeah, look, it's clearly like I thought it started as a bit of a joke game when I saw the first trailer for it a couple of years ago, and I thought maybe they'd latched onto something actually really fun in the gameplay, but it just did not really, didn't hook me in.
All right,
there you go.
I see what you did.
So that was just one that I tinkered with a little bit, and I then decided to play a game that came out last week, which was Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts Elite. No Elite.
I've got written down here Sniper Ghost whatever.
Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2.
Yes.
Which is the sequel to Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. This is a sniper game. It's a single-player sniper game.
Shooter
for a
game.
campaign. It's a shooter.
Shooter
It's
game.
not a sniper game. It's a shooter game. And this is
Very well done, Peter.
the Sniper Ghost Warrior, I think, series has been around for a while. This is the Contracts spin-off, which is... look, I don't know really what to say here apart from the fact that it's like... It's an indie game wrapped in a AAA kind of clothing. Like, it is actually far less polished than it looks.
Right.
And that's at no fault of the developers. I feel like...
I think that is exactly the fault.
Well,
of the
my point being
developers.
is that,
was
like...
their job.
How dare they make it look good?
You two just want to pull apart everything I'm doing here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not a bad game. It is just, it looks a lot more better than it actually plays. And first
I think you said when maybe I wasn't even here. It was when you guys were looking at it on the news a couple of weeks ago when we did the, what's coming up in the games week. And you were like, because did you play the first one?
I did, yes.
And they're just like, they do have like a really nice finish to them and they put a good trailer together and maybe there's not a lot of core game there.
There's a cool gameplay mechanic in the sniping itself. Sniping is just always a fun thing to do in video games.
That guy just standing there taking those bullets.
That's a target.
Oh, right, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense why he didn't move.
But sniping is a fun thing to do in video games, so to build your whole game around it should be more fun, but you do run into a lot of problems, i.e. how do you move your character in and around sniping spots, and what is the gameplay in between. This game sets itself, it's kind of quasi-futuristic in the tech and the gadgets and the stuff you're doing. There is a lot of technical gaming when it comes to the sniping itself, and you can change the difficulty level to have like no indicators on bullet drop and wind and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
you can make this a brutally difficult game to learn how to be a good sniper in. First and foremost, the frame rate just chugs. It is like sitting at 20, 25.
What are you playing it on?
Xbox Series X.
Yeah, right.
And
an infamous
Underpowered console, yeah.
so unfortunately, there's a little bit of polish lacking in there, but I think that has to do with the giant maps. They are huge, and they are going along more of the Hitman current, where the Hitman is gameplay style of like you're put in this open world, you've got 4 people to kill, 3 other side objectives, and you are funneled into these larger sort of sniping spots where you will be able to look over a whole complex, and then you can sit there and spend some time working out who you're going to shoot, how you're going to disable security, all that sort of stuff. They're the best moments in the game, and Will, if you wouldn't mind scrubbing ahead, just like to sort of, you see... that. Well, while this is here, this is the weakest part of the game, which is obviously you need
Stealthing.
to move between
Not
sniping
sniping.
spots. And yeah, it's a sort of poor man's COD in those areas. The weapons feel terrible. The movement feels super clunky.
Looks like Far Cry 2.
Quite a bit. And so scrubbing ahead of this, you'll finally find you get to the perch where you can look over the complex.
Skip a bit, brother Maynard.
And once you're up there, yeah, it's great because you then get to just sit there and look at this whole facility and work out who you're going to take out. That's fine. It just, as I said, it's like... It's lacking something in terms of... Will, much further than this, if you wouldn't mind. Sorry, dude. Thank you.
If anyone won a code last week and has played it yet, are you enjoying it? Let us know in the chat.
Needs more Brent Spiner.
Maybe it does. Look, it's still... I'm still having fun with it. And even, like, let's go right halfway through this clip because I want to show you guys when you get up to the facility and you look over the whole area from here on in. There is the super, super gory, over-the-top kill cam, which they showed off in the trailer like crazy.
You love to see
it is satisfying almost every time it goes off. But this is what I mean by you're looking at areas kilometers away.
This is what I want.
Wow.
And that's actually really good fun, and you'll get maybe 3 of these a level, but you've got a bunch of little side objectives to do in between.
That's like those camera phones with like 8 million times zoom in them that you see people like thumbing in on.
And like, this was the best part of the game, to actually just sit here and scope out my target, have to look at everything, and then work out in what order I'm going to take it all out. Because if you fire
So
your
you'd
bullet-
prefer to be a spotter, not a sniper?
Probably, yeah.
Mark Wahlberg had one of those in the film Shooter.
Yeah, he did.
He lost his friend though.
Yep.
The cool thing is that the enemies don't actually hear your gunfire because
Yeah.
you're so far away. So it's only if you hit a bullet next to them and they look around, they're like, oh, what's going on? So you're essentially silenced from how far away you are.
yeah.
So in that sense, it's fun. But yeah, as I said, once you've done this sort of 3 times, you move into some smaller, more claustrophobic levels.
I feel like a 50 caliber bullet hitting anything would make a lot of noise. It doesn't matter how far away the bullet came from.
Yeah, I think it would just sound like someone dropped a very heavy folder.
Bullet. Very
Folder!
I think it would sound like someone dropped a very heavy bullet very quickly.
And then yeah, I pushed on to maybe like 3 stages ahead of this, and they do get more. They get more claustrophobic at levels.
Folder was the best word.
Moving on, no. And any of the time
You can't say it felt like someone dropped a heavy folder and not expect a reaction.
What was in the folder?
paperwork about which buildings they needed to walk between, back and forth, back to that folder, pick that one up, switch
The
it with
folder has NPC routing data?
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
A lot of code there.
So yeah, I think the beginning of this game is good fun. I'm 3 stages in, and it's very quickly wearing out its welcome. So I need to see some missions with some far more interesting things than stare at a facility and try and lure the bad guy out, which is sniping essentially. But yeah, and on top of that, as I said, doesn't really perform as well as I was hoping it, or as it's been selling itself to. We need to see at least 1 kill cam from here just to prove a point.
While Will finds that, my name is Jaya in the chat said, okay, just hit me that I'm home alone for the first time. Now this is more scary now that the sun is set. To which I say, get a gun.
Get
Be
yourself.
inspired by this film.
Get some binoculars.
Go to your video rental platform of choice and watch Shooter featuring Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's a film you will not forget.
And then imagine that he is nearby keeping an eye on you.
I don't remember it.
You'll
but-
be safe in his arms. And Vegabus, it's for protection. It's for protection.
Yeah.
Jay, you're fine.
This is probably one of the kills I was mentioning before. Once you set the base off as well, they all just seem to pin you down really easily from a kilometer away. So you do die very quickly, which, I mean, is a kind of cool threat. But then this is the...
Oh, yeah! Oh, look at that folder go!
It's gratuitous, it's over the top, and it gets very obnoxious and just keeps happening every time you get a headshot. But I'm yet to turn it off because I'm like, yeah, I got a headshot.
Oh, you gotta keep that on.
Yeah, and I'm using the little drop indicator there as well. Look, as I said, it's a good middle of the range B game, but it's selling itself as a AAA shooter, and I think I'd see a lot of people get upset with that as the result. So yeah.
All right, cool.
And then finally, the other game I've been keeping an eye on was a console release of a PC game that came out a couple of years ago called Green Hell, which is a survivalist game that is along the lines of your forest. your Rust. It is a narrative-based single-player game where you're dropped out in the jungle after this very wonky tutorial where you and your girlfriend, who you send her off to look after a tribe that doesn't speak English and just talk to her over the radio, something goes horribly wrong, and then you just go wandering off into the bush to find her, the jungle to find her.
This is one of those things that Steph put in prison last week.
Yes, yeah, or fridged.
Yeah. A female fridged.
Female fridged, yes. So that's just the story that gets.
What are we looking at here?
What is going
I
on?
just stepped on a stingray and I got a barb in my leg.
Right.
So
Are there stingrays in shallow,
I was
dirty
about to-
water?
Yeah, there are. There's like
I
the
don't know much
muddy
about
ones,
lake stingrays.
muddy ones in the Amazon, stuff like that. There
Okay.
are. Yeah, skates kind of thing.
I'm not saying there aren't. I just wanted to learn.
Yeah, no.
Well, there is a shitload of things here that'll kill you.
We should
They
have a
are
folder about
Yeah,
that.
I was going
everywhere.
to say.
You do. You have a diary that you can check.
That's good.
This is a again, it's a lower end of the sort of lucky too, lower end of the sort of like budget in terms of
We are allowed to exist.
in terms of like an indie game that has its wonkiness to it just due to the size of the studio that made it.
Yep.
But it is super ambitious in the sense that it is down to the the finer details of you need to cut down that tree to make a log. You need to cut that log to make a stick. You need to cut that stick to make twigs. You need to go and get dry leaves.
Sounds pretty logical to me so far.
Yeah, you need to put dry leaves with those small sticks and into a plank of wood and then press the buttons to get the embers to move into the fire to start a fire.
All sounds logical to me.
It's all logical, but it's incredibly
He's got a heart on over there right now.
Oh, yeah.
it's incredibly
Tedious.
Tedious is the word for it, and it is really tedious to do in the game. However, like anything that's tedious, when you get it right, you're like, this was actually kind of satisfying.
Yeah.
And it translates to everything that you do in the game. The thing you saw earlier, which I actually found really novel, is that you can get stung, stabbed, bitten, scraped. You can create all sorts of injuries over your body that you can then inspect by going to a radial menu to look at whichever limb, and then once you bring that limb up, you can rotate the limb to look
That's
for.
great.
That's
That's
such a
great.
cool
And so that one where
with
I
the
went-
Resident Evil kind of like, there's something interesting here.
Yeah.
Ding! Oh, it's a gaping maw of a wound.
So I walked through the river because I was like, that's a quicker way to get there. And he's like, my leg. And I was like, what happened to my leg? And I saw a skate or a stingray go off, and I looked on my leg and I had a barb wound. I was like, oh shit. So I had to go and get the leaves, the right type of ones, wrapped around my leg.
And then
start a fire on my leg. And yeah, it's super, super tedious in that sense of all the little things you have to do and the control methods. Unfortunately, it has done that thing where it's brought across a bunch of cursor controls to the controller. So you then have to move a cursor around like your backpack and your inventory using an analog stick, which is a real pain. But once you get a handle on that, I feel like you could very quickly get used to how you play this. Again, there's a survival mode that strips out the story and just says, hey, we can make this as hard as you want, and you just have to build shelters, you have to create a habitat for yourself to live in, and just see how long you can live, and things will come after you and just try and kill you. And in that sense, I think it's I love the concept of fighting against nature in a video game.
I'm seeing like some things that I really like in survival games and little puzzle games and stuff is like little handwritten notes in your journal that are like, oh, that's going to be relevant somewhere. I saw is there a little bit of that? Is there some interesting stuff in the world, or is it just survive?
I think I've just been playing the actual story section, and that's giving me notes saying, hey, I found a cave, maybe I'll come back later with the right gear for it, or I found an area I could grapple up to, and it's like, I'll need a grappling hook before I can come back to here. It's just a way of maybe keeping your progress of what the story's telling you to do, but it is very open in the sense that it just says, now find your wife or find your girlfriend. I'm like, okay, and I looked at the jungle, I'm like, I'll just go that direction.
This would be like, so this would work if Liam Neeson played the main role.
Yeah, he'd look at his certain set of skills in the
Yeah.
be like, I have all these, I'm fine.
The
And
Grey?
The Grey, what a film.
What a
Grey
movie.
is
My name is Jaya. Shooter,
Yep.
chaser with the Grey.
Yep.
And then we'll work out what you're going to finish with.
But in the Grey, when he's in the plane, there is a scary moment where suddenly the plane rips apart.
Explodes.
And you're not going to see that coming because it's very quiet.
Yeah.
But then he does a cool thing where he lies down and straps himself into like multiple seatbelts.
Yeah.
So before that happens,
we will-
lie down and wrap yourself in multiple blankets.
We should point out that it's highly unlikely that just because you're home alone, your house will tear apart spontaneously.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
But it could happen. So just strap yourself to that couch. I would also like chat to suggest some viewing options for My Name is Jaya when Back Pocket is over. And obviously the post show is over as well.
Yeah.
But it's something for her to maybe fall asleep to. good movies
Yeah,
to
like
fall
a
asleep
cleanser
to.
at the end of
yeah,
it.
yeah, like your Moulin Rouges, which might be a nice little
yeah.
you know, you wake up and
Yeah.
Richard Roxburgh's singing
Handing
to
over
you.
Fiona Kell in the chat, for a lush jungle environment, there's a distinct lack of creepy crawlies. No, it's the complete opposite. You will
There are
walk through
leeches.
a section and you'll just see your arm covered in leeches and you'll have to pick them off one by one. Or you'll walk through a wasp nest and suddenly your character is just like flapping them off. Or I think I stepped on a scorpion and it was standing at the entrance to a cave and I was like, shit, I looked on my leg, I'd been bitten by the scorpion, I was getting sicker and sicker. I ate some mushrooms that I didn't know what was going to do to me. I then got stuck in the cave, so I just had to jump over the scorpion to leave, which felt very
You squish it.
I didn't know how to. I was like, oh, fuck.
And I don't want to. I'm not trying to be a pedant here. Clearly, you didn't get bitten by the scorpion because you would have got stung by its tail. But I'm interested.
That's a good point.
I'm interested in what a scorpion bite would be like.
Okay,
because they've got pincers.
Yep.
They've got a tail.
Yep.
But what's their little mouth doing? Who's ever been bitten by a scorpion?
Yeah, look,
Why do
they've
we
got-
need to
hang
go on
on,
side
hang on.
tangents
No,
when I'm describing a
because
game?
they-
Makes me think about the etymology on it.
Because they've got pincers, which
Yeah.
makes you think that that's the teeth.
But it's
that
not.
shreds up the meat,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it goes.
It does. It very delicately eats. It's like, ooh,
Did you finish the book?
no.
Okay. Did you get to the?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly like
Yes,
that.
there we
Tears it up into smaller and smaller pieces.
Yeah.
Rolls onto its back, opens up its gaping maw, and takes its poo out, and puts the food in, and then shuts its
Stop
gaping
it.
maw.
I don't know what book we're talking about, but it sounds good.
Someone in the chat will know what book
They
I'm
will.
talking about,
They'll
and
know.
they'll be like, "My goodness, Nick and Gus are well read." Okay.
Just to finish up on this, I will say that like the survival mode that it offers is essentially the single player map with no story. So I was like, oh, okay, it's just saying there's another mode that you can play on here, and it's doing that thing that it's doing that thing that
Fucking hell, that's very funny.
it's doing that thing where it's like, this is a weird thing to build your game around. It's weird to pour so much time and effort and design into making a game purely about like checking your limbs for bites.
Yeah.
And
It's a cool
you know,
mechanic, though.
But
Yeah,
it's,
it's good,
like
it's good,
it's
it's good.
enough that makes me go to sit down and go, do I want to play like 6 rounds of COD, or do I want to just walk into the jungle and see how far I can get? Because like at one point I've been bitten by too many things. I just went, I'm just gonna eat all the mushrooms and walk in that direction. And he starts hallucinating. He throws up in the river, throws up on another stingray, and then passes out. And I'm like, okay, I'll try better next time. But yeah, in that sense, it's fun, and I would recommend it as a different type of game to be playing at the moment.
All right, good. Green Hell.
Green Hell.
Green Hell.
What about yourself, Nick?
I've been playing the opposite kind of game to that. I've been playing Backbone, which is a noir detective
Furry.
furry. Yeah. No, it really is. Noir detective point-and-click adventure game. I love this game.
Yeah.
I love this game. So the premise is you play this raccoon detective and you take a case. You're like you're not a detective. You're like a private investigator.
PI,
You're a
yeah.
And mainly your job is just like tracking down people who are having affairs and taking pictures of them.
Yeah.
And so far, I've finished the first act of it. The first act, the prologue, is actually free on Steam at the moment, but the whole game is available on Game Pass for PC right now. But then you sort of get caught up in something that seems bigger. The two standout things in this game for me are the writing, which is just very fun, very entertaining, very funny, very sardonic, and quite sad.
Voice acted?
No.
Right.
But if we could skip ahead to like getting
Headshot.
outside and stuff, but the way that this game looks is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The lighting on these pixels.
It's pixel art with ray tracing or something.
Yeah.
New
It's
era now
like-
where we light pixel art and like
Yeah.
there's better engines than
Totally.
that used to build the pixels to do the lighting of the worlds, and it looks phenomenal.
It's honestly one of like the coolest looking games I've ever played, and I'm
Yes.
I'm a massive fan of the old LucasArts games, and particularly I Monkey Island and stuff. But I personally played Fate of Atlantis through a million times because it was on my grandpa's computer. So I'd visit their house and just play it, and like this is there's a Bethesda making a new Indiana Jones game, and if it's not anything like this, then it won't be good enough.
Yep.
And like this is just so impressive. And you're right. It is literally just like there's enough choice in the dialogue trees to make you feel like you're having an impact on the story.
Totally.
And you're just driving this really, really dark story. It pivots so hard at the end of that first act, I'm almost at the end of Act 2, so I'm a little bit ahead of Nick, and I will say that it is continuing in that same arc of being a really interesting world to be in because of the interactions that you have with the characters in the world, and just a really intriguing and gruesome and thrilling little adventure.
There is so much detail in the world as well, that particularly that strip, like that street that we saw, and you're walking along and there's everything on the street, and then there's just things happening in all the windows above. It's that thing of, I love when people take an older art style and not just make it look good like that, but add, but we're going to add the amount of detail that you would normally see in it's like Cyberpunk. Like that. Yeah. I was like, and this is not a dig at Cyberpunk, but I genuinely was like, this is a cooler world to me than the world that Cyberpunk built. Like walking these streets makes me feel more like I'm a noir detective style thing than the sort of Cyberpunk thing was going for. The writing is really, really funny. It's really, like I said, sad and dark. There's great characters. The raccoon has this like weird, dark, sad sense of humor where he's kind of, I can't decide whether he's pathetic or like just downtrodden but trying to make a difference.
But also, I feel like you can make that choice. I feel the dialogue options that you have let you be a bit pathetic, or let you be a bit of an asshole, or let you choose to be a bit more empathetic.
Yeah, or like the PI, like classic hard-boiled style.
It's being animals, like, does it come into any plane anyway, or is it just inconsequential in the sense that it's like BoJack Horseman or something? It's like they're all just animals because it's cool.
I mean, a little bit because it's cool, but there's definitely a big theme in the game is kind of like there's a big racial theme of, raccoons are not high ranking.
This is what I mean. Do the animals play into the cats get along with dogs, or
the raccoon is basically like the lowest tier animal.
Trash.
He's a trash panda.
Right. Yeah.
Like characters call him Striper. It's like there's like racial lingo.
Oh, that's meant to be racist. So that's a cool nickname. I'm like,
no. Like it is like it's a put down. It's like, what's a striper doing here? Or no stripers are allowed in our bar. And it's like it's
a foxy bar.
This fox is sexy as.
Yeah, this fox is cool.
You'll love it.
Yeah, this fox played like a cool little flirty game with you of like, ooh, I don't know why you're here, but like
that's like the the most engaging conversations, and it's all really cool, but like you flirt with everyone.
You do.
And it's like, it's actually like, I guess you have to choose the right dialogue options, and I guess we do, but it's like there's just really like tantalizing dialogue, not in an arousing way. It's just, it's fun banter. It's exciting banter. In conversation.
It's the thing that is the most fun in the world, which is that like when you discover someone who you have a back and forth with, that's actually like you have fun verbally jousting with someone. Thank you very much.
Well done.
So I'm really loving it. It's like a 3.5 hour game total.
Is it just so back on the conversation stuff? Like the thing that wears me out in any detective mystery based games is that I've just got lists of questions and they all feel one sided. And from what you're saying, it sounds like you're having a conversation versus you go to a person, you go, "Hi, do you know who owns the bar? Do you know who was here on the other night?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this person in red?" And it's like, and then you go to the next person, and my God, there are a lot of foxy dogs.
So do not spoil the prologue, but the main part of the prologue is finding your way into a bar.
Yeah. Right.
And there are multiple ways to get in, and you can screw many of them up. I messed up one. I got in one time and I got kicked out.
Yeah, so did I.
And then I went back in. I just interacted with the wrong person.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could have avoided that. And this person's maybe going to navigate this a little better. But it actually is like...
He's going to fuck that bear.
I don't know. It's that thing of if it doesn't have heaps of depth, it at least has the effective illusion of heaps of depth.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm still very like, anything could happen. And there's a million different ways to... even in a 2D plane, there's a million different ways.
Yeah, which is the opposite of that is finding out all the dead ends before you find the one door that opens and go, okay, it was that. I was just... Yeah,
there's multiple threads to achieve the same goal.
Yeah.
And again, it's always interesting having the conversation that leads down that thread.
And I think that, like, you're right. It's the illusion of depth, but also because there is so much style and world building and sense of space. I think that's the other thing that gives it a lot. The story might fall over at the end, but I will genuinely have felt like I was a detective walking rain-sodden streets, like trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So that is already a win. Like, even if the story falls apart, the mood works so well.
Yeah.
And I saw Nicrotex in the chat said it's a bit more like Disco Elysium in its dialogue options. And it, like, not nearly as deep as Disco Elysium. It's Disco Elysium light, because Disco Elysium is phenomenal in terms of that. But it is, it's great. It's just, it's a lot of fun.
Can I just say, I'm really enjoying an era, again, of watching characters that just, while having any sort of discussion, constantly
just
have
bounce
that
a little bit.
Pixel. And then this one. And then back to the wobble.
You look like a foxy dog I've had a conversation with recently. So that is Backbone, very enjoyable.
Yep.
I saw in chat as well, I think it was Goth Martha Stewart said that they have Backbone and Overboard downloaded for the weekend. And that is a hell of a
It's a good weekend.
detective text adventure weekend you have ahead of you. Two
Absolutely.
great choices. The other
We're
thing
doing a lot
now,
of reading.
DTA.
Tell us.
I kind of lied.
Oh, no.
So the next game is Slipways, Will, and this segment is called "What You've Been Playing." I have not actually been playing this game.
People play
This is you've been seeing? What
I
you've
have
been
been preparing to play this game.
I see.
So Slipways, I saw last week, is basically like a 4X strategy game, and set in space. You basically want to take planets, utilize their resources, build more things that utilize those resources, connect all those planets, put some ways to transport resources from one planet to another. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
You make it sound easy.
Yeah,
Normally-
it's like global conquest. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Normally, I'm not kind of into these games because I'm just like, there is so much depth to learning this stuff. I cannot be bothered. The hook that I have read about this is
deck
that
builder.
is that all these planets are actually kids in mechs.
Yeah.
Is that
There's a fairy
this
planet
game
state.
takes about an hour to finish. So a run is 1 to 2 hours of this 4X civilization style, Crusader King style game, and so they're super fast. Now, the reason that I have not yet played it is because I read a couple of reviews of it, and I think it was the Rock Paper Shotgun one specifically said, in order to enjoy this game, I needed to watch this YouTube tutorial and this video and read this guide, and so I have started doing that prep work beforehand.
Yeah, okay.
So that I can go in, because apparently the tutorial is not that great. But I like, in theory, this kind of thing, and it really piqued my attention with the idea of like 1 hour to do a run.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know why I'm looking for these at the moment, but that idea of a game that can sit there on my second screen and I can just kind of, because it uses a time-based system, so everything you do costs you time, and there's a certain amount of time that you have. But if you don't do things, the clock doesn't move forward, so it can just sit there, and you could just sort of like plan your next thing out, execute it. So obviously not much to look at. Apparently it's got a ton of depth. It's been getting really good reviews, and it is that sort of like, if you can't commit to 4 days worth of a massive Civ campaign, you can commit to an hour of something like this.
And the way it's in runs, I imagine, is there any kind of continual progress, or is it just it changes up the planets and it's like a different little game each time?
I haven't got up to that part in the video game because I've not started the video game yet, and I've not got up to the part in the YouTube tutorial.
Okay. So we don't know if it's like, I
don't know anything about this game.
The buzzword that's been going around for months, it's like, is it a roguelike where it's like, oh, you're going to take the progress, or is it just like, I played one round and it was lovely to play?
I am taking that whole reviewers don't finish video games thing to the next level.
Reviewers don't start video games.
So I will attempt to report back on this title next week. But I did want to shout it out because in case I don't, I know there are people.
Name again, sorry?
Is Slipways. And I know there are people who are watching who would be into this kind of thing, and it's super under the radar at the moment. Like really small release.
Just PC?
Just PC. And I can't imagine it will go anywhere else. Well, I don't know why I said that.
It might be the best game on PC right now, but you'll never know.
But I'll never know. So there you go. That is Slipways, and that is kind of what I have been playing. All right. That is it for us. Let's take a short break, and we'll be back after this message from our sponsors. let's talk about video games in a segment that we like to call. Just say what you'll be playing.
Destiny.
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 Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny. Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny. Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny. Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny, Destiny, Destiny,
Destiny.
Destiny, 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 Destiny.
Oh, what the? Destiny.
Meet Nathan Roner, a mild-mannered game dev and VR enthusiast. But a freak jewel-severed foot accident has given him hot tub cars for feet and turned him into Rollerstar. By day, Nathan must deal with the ever-crushing burden of being a brilliant indie game developer. But when the evil Dr. Pocket decides to steal all his money and not make his custom Patreon commercial for 6 months, you must use Rollerstar's flowing locks of customer loyalty to smack that pocket back into place.
Patreon? More like Patreon.
And after a hard day of crowdfunding injustice, Rollerstar sloshes into the pants of his lovers with his sexy jewel jet hot tub feet. And when it comes to cruising for a feed, Rollerstar rolls right into the thick of it. Hungarian slop doesn't stand a chance with Rollerstar's high-powered hot tub boost, leaping over the Central European cuisine with ease. And don't worry, kids, he washes up real good. Rollerstar. Rollerstar comes with everything you see here, plus everything you don't, including billions of hot tub-borne diseases.
Holy shit! Wow.
Surprised him. Didn't even give him a warning.
Welcome back to the show, everybody, and thank you to Rhys Wild and LokiCat for your words from your sponsors. The Rhys Wild one, like that cut deep.
It did cut deep. We should talk about Destiny more.
Never heard of it.
It's yeah. No, I
The
think
real up-and-comer.
Well, it's kind of like the raid's done, the expansion's done. I feel like we're going into a
You're
Destiny lull until
Yeah.
the next piece of
expansion,
content
yeah.
comes
I
out.
managed to get
So-
through without having to play, even though I promised I'd continually play. This jacket's very absorbent. I've
my
got no wine
goodness.
left on it.
Why are you talking?
left on it, like you were trying to store it there.
A whole ad break was like,
I had to put it on a jumper because that was quite chilly.
you look great.
I know, thank you. Now, speaking of looking great, Tom Hiddleston is in a little show called Low Key, and
Just Loki.
oh yeah, no, it's
We get
very
that wrong all
it
the
sucks
time.
now,
This is
doesn't it?
really
Yeah.
wrong all the time.
It is bad. You even did it at the recording.
I did it in the
today.
record.
Yeah, no, we do it all the time.
The record of what?
In a little show called Pocket Watch Loki. We recorded a pocket watch about Loki. Loki is on Disney Plus, not sponsored, but we'll take it. And Will's nodding off camera. And we recorded an episode about the first episode of Loki, which we all watched last night. And then we recorded an episode first thing this morning. It's on the YouTube channel, so
It's also a podcast.
watch it.
It's also a podcast.
Oh yeah,
do
it's
it.
mainly a podcast. You should I would recommend consuming that as a podcast. You don't need to
Okay.
watch three people just stare at cameras
Or if
and
you
talk.
want to,
wearing a beanie and
all you
stuff.
have to
It
do
was weird.
is you have to go to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Head to R1, subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yep.
Start watching that. At the same time, mute that video. Boot up the podcast.
Oh, interesting.
Boot it up on Podbean or Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Start listening to it on
Spotify.
that. Or Spotify.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, and Google ones.
And Google Play.
This guy.
So you need to. So
And
what I need you to do, you need to go out and you might need to buy 3 more phones.
Yep. Get that audio running on that.
Yep.
Put it slightly out of sync,
Ooh,
just as a way to kind of like,
okay.
keep things spicy. And listen to the whole show and enjoy it. You're welcome.
I thought you were trying to get views up.
Nah, it's just like,
You were keeping things spicy.
even things spicy in the podcast.
Yeah, by listening to audio slightly out of sync.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good. So you could go do that. It was a fun. I mean, was it a fun? I mean, our episode was very fun. A little Luke
We had fun
Coleman,
talking about it.
yeah.
The episode, I think, is a slow start to what should be an exciting show. It's the one I've been the most excited for. Someone
Yeah, for sure.
comment, why didn't we do Falcon Winter Soldier, which we talked about. We were like, it's kind of a stock standard show.
I responded to them.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
I told them to fuck off.
Yeah, you said never write it again, you coward.
And I banned them.
there you go.
No, we didn't do Falcon and the Winter Soldier because none of us were particularly excited in the lead up for it.
Nah.
Because we felt like it would be pretty stock standard Marvel stuff, which we all enjoy, but we weren't hyped about it. And you were particularly excited about Loki.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we rallied behind you.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, Ragnarok's my favorite one. Thor's a great hero. Tom Hiddleston's just mwah. So yeah.
What do you think about actually Loki?
Sorry?
You named a bunch of things, but not Loki.
Oh, Loki
You
gives
like
me the
Loki?
shits.
Yeah.
Can't stand Loki,
Yeah.
but everything around him,
Loki?
fantastic.
Low key, I'm a big fan.
Big fan of Loki.
Nice, well played.
And then that's all I had to plug.
Shall we do the segment?
Yeah, let's go to the next segment, which is everyone's favorite intro. Go, hit it, Pete. Pocket League.
I almost did the wrong one.
Oh, we really need some, that music just falls off hard and fast,
So
doesn't
the
it?
thing is, it falls off the back of a drop. So there's a drop, and then there's a real drop.
Yeah, right.
There's the technical term for a drop, which is like, wham, everyone goes, yeah, starts rocking. And then just there's a fall off, a drop, just like an absolute party killer.
I mean,
in a sentence.
you're the EDM master over here, so
I am.
we'll follow your lead.
You know what I'd love for you? Just really sex that up.
Sex that up.
Yeah, for the next time we show that, I'd love that to be like,
Animated.
well, animated.
5
Just
minutes.
like lean into that music.
Yeah, I reckon like a few balls flying around.
Now, so
It's,
what it
it's,
is,
it's probably our
replicating-
second most showed recurring segment now.
Possibly. It's
Yeah. And
replicating.
it'll come up more and more.
Replicating the NFL's thing where they would they do a touchdown, they crank like a pop song, and then they immediately run it back down to go back to the commentary box.
Yep.
So that's actually what it's doing perfectly.
And Defunkinator 458 says in the chat, every Pocket League, there's the mandatory 3-minute discussion about the Sting. And that's true. And that's all the more reason, Pete, to get a good one.
All right, we're back with the NFL.
And I'd also like to point out that Picky Me says Gus typifies mansplaining.
What do you mean? I made that. I'm allowed to explain something I made.
That's true.
That's true. He totally
That's
can.
true. And to
You
be very
back
clear, he's only talking to the men in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not mansplaining? Is it just telling other men?
I don't think that's
don't know.
mansplaining.
No, is that the opposite of mansplaining?
No.
No, that would be the...
Let's just let Will do the rest of the show.
Well, to be fair, mansplaining is... Well, I guess
It's
mansplaining...
condescending. It's a man explaining something in a condescending fashion, often to a woman.
Or talking over the top of someone.
What you just did to me.
You are not allowed to talk about talking.
No, but what you
Literally
just
just
did, I go, mansplaining is, and you go, it's when a man condescendingly talks over. That's phenomenal. That was better than any explanation I could have come up with.
There you go.
Okay, good.
Let's
Let's
go.
talk about Pocket League. Okay, let's start this segment again. Welcome to Pocket League.
Oh, you wanted to get? I just.
All right, welcome to Pocket League. Can I just say, I would love it if that music was a touch longer.
my God.
We're jumping into Pocket League because one of the big titles dropped this year
I
that
missed
was
F2.
picked by one of the 4 people who put together the Pocket League Pocket Fantasy Draft game draft board, and that game is Ratchet and Clank coming out tomorrow and coming in with a scorching hot 89%.
89. We've never seen a score like that in
Nick-
2021.
I've never seen a score.
Nick Boy Richardson.
That's him.
89% critics, and normally I have this prepared, and I don't.
Well,
so
Critics
bam
are
for me.
describing it as a video game.
They are.
It's getting great reviews. It's getting fantastic reviews. It looks phenomenal. People are saying that not only it looks phenomenal, but it plays really well, and the story is really touching. Apparently, really well written characters. This is the one we're going to play for the game club. You would have seen that we finished up the Resi one, and now we're going to launch the Ratchet and Clank one that I'm going to be taking the lead on later this week. So yeah, people have said that the writing is amazing. I don't know anything about the characters, so I'm really intrigued to learn about them through this game.
IGN give it 9 out of 10, saying is a fantastic PS5 exclusive showpiece for the console's power and a delightful venture in its own right. Easy Allies gave it an 8.5 out of 10 and didn't submit a blurb to OpenCritic and just a picture. Metro Game Central, I've never heard of them. The graphics are absolutely stunning, but the gameplay is predictable and surprisingly uneventful as the game fails to leverage its technical achievements for anything more than straightforward spectacle. Interesting. They're just picking nits at that point. And Eurogamer said, with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Sony's Charmers-in-Chief deliver another lesson in laid-back, unpretentious fun.
Oh, no.
And I've also been reading a lot about...
Score. Give me the worst score in the critic column.
Well, the Metro Gamer was 7 out of 10.
Oh.
Okay.
But let me sort by score. Hang on. So, and that's all fives? Oh, it's all just fives. So, Skill Up has theirs is unscored at the moment, but Skill Up doesn't give scores, and he loved it, so that doesn't count. Yeah. So I'm going to skip all the mind blown, loved by. The lowest score is 3.5 out of 5 stars.
I'll tell you who that was.
Yep.
Phil fucking Spencer.
Who was like, I can't deny it's a phenomenal experience, but, here is a couple of technical quibbles, but still, 3 out of 5 is a very good score.
Should be on Game Pass.
So I'm very happy that I picked that one, and I'm also very happy that it is our Game Club game. I am frothing to play that, so I'm thrilled.
I'm frothing for what was it? A laid back.
Unpretentious fun.
Yeah, I should point out that I have seen Phil Spencer congratulating the team at Insomniac for a great, because he's the most charming, sweet man alive.
Phil Spencer is the living embodiment of a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. That's the only reason I attack Phil Spencer, because there's no way in hell he would have done it.
And by that, I do mean that his body is 78%
a boat.
Water. Yeah. Okay, so cool. So
the jacket.
That was Pocket League, Back Pocket Fantasy Game Draft. Hit it, Pete.
What?
Come back and I'm just like red wine over everyone celebrating.
Not surprised at all. All right, let's move on now to the bulk of today's show. Is this a hefty one? Settle in. Take your pants off.
Well, it's going to be a big week next week.
Put new comfy pants on.
Yeah.
Do it. God damn it, Pete, do it.
Do we have comfy pants? We gave away our COD pants.
Do we have comfy
My
pants?
pants are pretty comfy, and you can't see below. So
You want to swap?
Will,
Just swap.
throw me your pants.
No, it's not-
throw me your
it's
pants.
not gonna happen.
Will, throw me your
It's not
pants.
gonna happen.
Will,
It's not gonna
throw
happen.
me your pants.
It's not gonna happen.
Will,
I need these pants.
Will,
I need
We're
these
calling.
pants.
We're calling. Will, throw me your pants.
Next week is, starting pretty much like tomorrow.
Yeah, Thursday in the States
Thursday in
is
the States.
the Summer Game Fest, so tomorrow.
Is the beginning of all the E3 week press conferences, video packages, directs, or whatever you want to call them, from all the major players. And so it's essentially E3, but it's digital.
I love our chat so much. It's just fun.
I know, our chat are actually funnier than we are.
Yeah, totally.
And I really wish that... you know what we should do? Oh, you know what we should do? Okay.
I'm listening. Yeah, okay, just cut. Oh, no, I thought you were just going to hold the chat up and we were going to go.
That's a good idea.
We can leave.
That's very funny. We should do text to speech and just have chat occasionally be read out. No, we should do a live in-studio show one day. And have some chatting.
We're doing it right now.
Have people in here.
Oh, yeah. No,
like an audience.
Yeah.
Our funniest members.
That's a post-COVID exciting idea.
And our members who definitely won't come back uninvited. Yeah, let's consider that. Okay, I'm opening the laptop back up. We're back. We're doing the show again.
Okay.
Okay, so in a segment we're calling BP E3 Bingo, presented by Nicrotex.
Good on you, Nicrotex.
Good on you, Nicrotex. Nicrotex, aka Nick Belling, every time Nicrotex.
What were we laughing at before?
sorry.
I was like still talking about E3 and you're like, this is hilarious. I'm like, where did this all go?
Okay.
Oh, just people having fun.
Can we look? No, I'll do the Nicrotex thing and then we'll do this thing.
Okay.
So Nicrotex, aka Nick Belling on Twitter. Every time Nicrotex sponsors a segment, I go to Twitter and I find a tweet. Pete actually found the tweet. This one. It's one of Nicrotex's. Well. He was like, go find his first tweet, and then he found this and sent it to me. And I said to Pete, oh, you found his first tweet? And he goes, no, it's just his first good one. And I was like, oh, that's
Which, let me point out, was 2 years after he got a Twitter account.
There you go.
2 years.
None of us were good at Twitter at the beginning.
You're going to warm up into that thing.
No, I know. No, I honestly, he's been very like. There are some great ones, and I've picked one that I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Because it's abrupt. But they were mostly replies to famous people before that. And I was like,
that's true.
We don't need that shit.
Kim Kardashian doesn't need any more love on this show than she already gets. December 15th, 2015, Nick Belling says, fuck buses.
Sorry?
Fuck buses. And isn't that...
I fuck buses?
No,
Or-
fuck buses.
Yeah, fuck
and,
buses.
And
yeah.
isn't that prevalent in today's COVID society?
Well, yeah, unless
Buses are COVID traps.
super spreaders.
Fuck them.
sure. I just want to be the one that throws this out there.
Public transport.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Fuck. Wait.
Maybe,
Fuck them.
maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
he's not against public transport.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
he's into it.
No, he's Shark Tanking an idea. Fuck buses.
It's all about inflection.
Yeah.
Fuck buses. It's
buses.
all about inflection.
It's all about erection.
In which case, all aboard. That's their catchphrase.
You know what their other
Train one.
okay.
I get it. but-
And you know what their other catchphrase is? Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. All right. Now, before we get into this E3 prediction segment, so the way that we've built this is we've all got 3 predictions. There's me, Gus, Pete, Will, and Steph. We've got
Hell
special appearances from Stephanie, middle name Bin Dixon, because there's no there's no way. I realized
Say something charming like, oh, snotty Stephanie or
No, I
something.
realized I can't remember her middle name.
Her middle name is Claire, but I always forget as well because I don't have a middle name, so I think of them as the least important things in the world.
They are.
Except for Gus's, because he's got 2.
He's got several.
Well, to be fair, Gus has 4 first names.
Yeah.
Angus,
Don't say it online.
Jeffrey Bruce Ronald.
He's just wild tonight.
He is wild.
It's just like nothing.
4 first
You
names.
can reorder those names in any way and
order.
still have a full Lord's title.
Doesn't respect any of my
The
privacy.
Duke of Angus Jeffrey Bruce Ronald.
It's a liege. Please, for fuck's sake.
So, now I have a couple. We're going to get into the E3 thing in a second.
Wikipedia, mate.
I've got a couple of things to say.
Yeah,
First
sorry,
of all,
go ahead.
Let's bring up that opening title sequence again. Gus, when he was making this, was like,
Spell something?
no.
Wrong one? Shit, wrong one.
So when Gus was making it, he was making the little bouncing pockety, and he was like, "What should I do to this?" And then Pete and I offered a bunch of bring it up.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for that stick.
Okay. And Pete and I offered a bunch of suggestions. We were like, and I was like, you should turn that into Jeff Keighley. And Pete was like, here's something else funny. He should do the
Peggle
too. and then you were like, no, I want something else. And then you just put 2 more of them bouncing next to it.
This was at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have time to voice act and mouth a Jeff Keighley screaming something. I was like, no, I'm going to put some bounce.
I was like, just put some Mountain Dew in there.
I could have done that.
Now, the second thing is we've got a board. Bring up the board. So this is the Back Pocket BP E3 bingo board. Now, Bingo card.
Famous.
Bingo is just code for a list, says hello. Very true. It's true, but we're not ranking anything. There's a list in the bottom corner right
Oh my
now.
God.
We're not ranking anything. We're going to throw things up.
And also, I would argue this is not bingo. And now this is a point of contention to the office.
Yeah.
And this has been a big thing because I suggested earlier today that we call this a drinking game because what this is a drinking game. What we are going to put is a bunch of things that we think will happen at E3 on a board. And that then when E3 happens, all of us on the show, you at home, can use this and be like, did that thing happen? Yes. Bang, drink. Bingo is a game where everyone has a different board, and the first person to get a row wins or fill out your whole board.
Sure, we're not playing bingo, but that's a fucking bingo card.
That's a drinking game
right now.
card.
It's a
Guess
bingo
what?
card.
It can be both.
It can't be.
No, it can't be.
it can be only
so,
one.
I'm going to throw it out to chat. Is this a bingo game?
no,
or is this... No.
Because
is this
we know it's not a bingo game. We're using a bingo card
Because
as
it's
a
called
device.
bingo. It's
That's
called
a colloquial
bingo.
understanding
As a
of what this
device.
card
Or is this a drinking
a way
game?
to do it.
This
We
is
never
a drinking
said this
game.
is a proper game of bingo.
And also, I don't want to encourage people to drink at 3 o'clock in the morning when E3's on.
We're drinking on show right now. My name is Jaya, is sitting home right now all by herself, and she's wondering, is alcohol the only thing that's going to keep me safe tonight?
When in fact,
So I don't understand what the big problem is about encouraging some fully functioning, healthy adults to be able to drink at home, which responsibly, and I want to make sure to emphasize that none of this is about making sure that they drink and actually get themselves sick. This is entirely about the fact that this is not a fucking game of bingo. Because bingo is a game that you actually play against each other. You play bingo again, there's no way you can win. The only winner here is Big Alcohol, who's actually managing to put together a bunch of beers and a bunch of fucking scotch for people to drink as they watch E3. So I don't understand why.
And we're back.
What did the chat say?
28% agree that 44% agree it's a drinking game. Okay.
You take that as a win?
Well, 44.
44%.
Oh, sorry. There are 3 options.
Okay, right.
There's a bingo card list or a drinking game, and
no one
it's
cares.
55% drinking game, 25% bingo card, and 21% a list. All right, good.
List is good. I imagine our audience numbers just dropped significantly.
They actually, they legit went up by 100. We're on 891 right now.
People heard screaming
that's
and they
not
came
good.
running into the room.
Okay, like I would never normally ask this, but please leave. Just leave now because they don't deserve this shit. They don't deserve it.
Pongo Bishop says this is the most accurate representation of masculine energy I have ever seen.
To be fair, no, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, cool. All right, so this
a
is
different example that we talked about earlier. That
Let's
was
get the segment going.
Yeah, let's get the segment. Okay, so welcome to the E3 drinking game. Each of us have selected 3. Okay. How about you shut the fuck up because I don't give a shit.
I don't even know if I'm
you
the one
deserve
who's-
shush.
And we're back.
We've each said 3 things that we think will happen at E3, and hopefully they do. I'm going to go first.
Please, because I don't remember mine. I don't remember anything.
Oh, no, neither.
I don't remember anything beyond the last 3 minutes of just pure confusion.
Pick of Me also says, guys, it's too soon for a callback.
That's so good.
Oh, God.
my
Comedy about comedy?
my
The best comedy.
Kidney hurts from that. I don't know why my kidney hurts
Jesus
from that.
Christ.
Let's see a doctor.
Okay.
Chat really is funny.
I think I remember mine. You can look yours up on your phone.
I'm looking mine up right now. Yeah.
My first prediction.
Sorry.
Psychonauts 2 is
One more
going
time?
to get a surprise drop at E3.
Right.
It's going to be one of the games that is announced, or not announced, but like a release date is announced, and that release date will be right now on Game Pass. That we know the game is supposed to be coming out in 2021. There's been recent rumors. I think
Recent footage.
Recent footage, and Game Informer had a story that there was like an August listing for it, apparently, and that could very well be true. But it is the word surprise misspelled?
Probably. I did.
It is.
Oh my god. That's
Surprise.
so fucking good.
I'm not changing it.
Oh my god. You could change. Will has the power to change it.
done.
Will you leave that? Don't
He
you touch my
easily
surprise.
could. He's at the keyboard that can fix that.
And that
I'm
is
just
a typo.
Surprise.
How did you correctly spell Psychonauts? And not
Okay, I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how.
How do we spell Psychonauts?
And I spelled it to him, and then it was like it took literally a full minute
Okay,
to get that string of 12 letters out.
Seriously though,
Yep.
this touches on
910 people now. More people here for this. I think it's going to get a surprise drop at E3. The other reason being that Microsoft really need a win in terms of like they've got a lot of goodwill, but they need to start putting out games. They have yet to put out an exclusive game for their brand new console.
yeah.
So Psychonauts 2 surprise drop E3.
This brings up
it's a good
the
one.
thing
It's a good one.
that I think at least all of us have thrown in, possibly all of us have thrown in one game that we're hoping will get dropped at the show. Which
Yep.
I think we can all agree is just like a way to win a huge amount of fan love to say, here's this game.
Here's
We're
game.
not going to put, a huge roadmap out in front of it. It is out today. You go get it now. It has happened in the past with sort of smaller to medium titles, and I'm trying to think of the biggest one that's ever happened.
Fallout Shelter.
Fallout Shelter is the one I remember.
Yeah.
That's not
So-
a huge game.
No, no, but it was like
Yeah, it was
like
significant.
everyone
because we'd never
scrambling
heard.
for their
We'd also
phones and-
never heard of it before
Yeah,
that
totally.
moment as well. It was very well done. by
This
Bethesda.
also terrifies me because I've written surprise at least on 5 more cards.
That's amazing.
And I'm
That's
pretty
fantastic.
sure it's either a typo or just a problem I have with that
That's
word.
so funny.
So look forward for more surprise.
Also, Arcade
pretty-
Blob was like, I don't think it's like fair to rip on Gus for like that he spelled Psychonauts correctly because he's like, it's just two pieces of words going together, and I was like, yeah, but he can't spell one piece of words, so that's where the problem lies. Okay, Gus, give me your first prediction.
Sure. My first prediction is I reckon that there is going to be a flop of a joke by a publisher, a developer, a public spokesperson about COVID. Someone's going to try and make a pandemic joke.
Nick Boy related,
And it's going to flop, like, whether it happens, not live, because everything's probably pre-recorded, but whether or not it just doesn't get the response there, or the chat turns, or it just gets bad press.
I know the awful version of it already.
Please.
Is someone gets onto, like, it cuts to them in the video press thing that's been put together, and someone's like wearing a mask and goes, I'm so sorry. What I meant to say was Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know.
And then
coughs in the mouth of a child.
Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nicholas.
I feel like there'll be one. This will happen, and it'll just get a bad rap, and it'll be like you probably should have just stayed away from that entirely.
Fair. Failed pandemic joke. Put it on the board. It's
Already on the board.
Okay.
El Beno, go away.
Peter, what about you?
My first one is, and let's start with number 1 on my list. EA is going to reveal a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, and it's going to have a loose tie-in to the Kenobi series.
Ooh.
How would that?
So timeline-wise, Jedi Fallen Order was just before the Order 66 of Revenge of the Sith, and so that means that we'll see Cal a little older. A little older. We'll see him 30 years older. We'll see him as kind of like a matured master, and he's going to hang out on Tatooine and just farm moisture. And it's going to be a strategy game about how to farm moisture on Tatooine.
Okay, I just want to say that the more words you say, the more that this needs to come true for this to get a tick next week when we go through how many we each got right.
Was Fallen Order? I guess There's when he's a kid, you see Order 66 happen.
Yeah.
You see it happen. Yeah. That's right. Everyone's already dead.
I would really love a sequel to that game. Have they said they're putting one in the works? Is it just one of those?
They haven't said yet, but
did so well.
EA has. EA don't have exclusivity to the Star Wars license anymore.
Right.
But Jedi Fallen Order was a reasonable commercial success, so I think we will see more from that series.
Yep. I'd love to see Kenobi in it. I'd love it to be more than just you go to that planet and have one bit of dialogue with that character and then leave. Like I would want to be playable Ben Kenobi.
You want to be in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Moisture farming simulator, Fallen Order.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
It's on the board.
Well,
When do you want these on the board?
just
we never clarify.
Straight away. No, straight away. Straight away is good. But we're going to do the bit every time. now.
Yeah. We've got 25 board spots, and I'm going to do it for every single one of them. Well,
we should mention that we've got a bunch that were submitted by Backpocketeers in the Discord as well. So, did we mention that? I totally missed it if we did.
we spoke about it at length, and you also you contributed to that.
I muted. I had the whole thing muted the whole time.
The chat is well aware. We had a 5-minute chat about this.
Cool.
Well,
Nice. Rolling on from Star Wars, I might as well. My pick is in regards to the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which was announced, I feel like, over a year ago now, and keeps getting pushed back further and further. And what I think we might end up getting is nothing to do with that. Instead, it'll be a Lego Marvel Infinity Saga game. And everyone will be very annoyed because they're like, we want that thing. And they're like, but this is pretty cool too. And it'll just be like a surprise. We're also working on this game.
what thing do people want?
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars.
Right.
Skywalker
announced.
Saga, which has shown footage and is in full existence.
But it got pushed back to the end of this year, but still no confirmed release date.
Yeah, so I mean, that probably will end up getting a date somewhere in here as well. But I feel like, it might be a bit of a very simple tease that they're also working on a Marvel game, because there hasn't been one.
But you reckon they're going to trump themselves with another game that they haven't even announced yet and be like, oh, here's all the Marvel characters in it.
Some sort of like highlight thing. Because they did it with Lego Avengers, which was kind of bits of movies, but this something over the 10 years.
Which is something you would have really liked as well, but it's the way they're delivering it. If they do it that way, you'd be like, I actually wanted the other thing first.
Yeah.
Flogging a dead horse with another dead horse. Put it on the board, Will.
This one he actually is.
I did it at the end because I forgot, but which is fine. I'll leave it for me.
It still works. It still works.
Now, of course, Steph can't be with us tonight. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
She did, in her last will and testament, leave 4 short videos for us. Pete,
3
short videos.
One of them's very private. The 4th one was for me alone. But the first 3 we can show the public.
Peter,
here's
make
number
sure
1.
everyone leaves the room. Okay, now I can keep going.
Remember, our mic's alive under this, so shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there.
I'm
homesick this week. I'm actually feeling a lot better today, but I also just don't want to infect anyone, so I'm staying put. Anyway, here's my first E3 prediction for 2021. I predict that we will see 12 Minutes get a pre-Christmas release date, and I think we'll see some cool interviews with all the big-name actors from the cast. And I'm not just saying this because 12 Minutes is part of my Pocket League fantasy thing. I kind of am.
Good one.
She's faking it.
Yeah, she didn't sound sick at all. A pre-Christmas release date.
Yeah.
So just out. So it has to be out before Christmas, but between Christmas and New Year's, that's a fail.
Look. Not that much about it.
So you think it's weird that she said Christmas versus this year?
The end of the year.
Yeah,
Holiday season.
Yeah. Well, it's like, well, my only thing is like they've said it's coming out this year, but okay, but get in the cast because it's Daisy Ridley and
The Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe,
It is Willem
yes.
Dafoe.
Yeah.
And also James McAvoy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
What a
yeah,
cast!
yeah. I was
Good lord.
Yeah.
Yes, she meant a holiday release. She's in the chat. Hi, Steph.
Okay, cool. Right.
We're not faking it. We know.
And Handbag says Nick is really taking this seriously, and whenever there's a list involved, I take it very seriously.
This is on the list. This is
Okay,
on the
cool.
list.
I like this. I like this just because I want to play this game. I want this game to be good, even though it benefits Steph, my rival. But I am I'm keen for this, and I'm keen to see some Daisy Ridley. I feel like needs to be in more things. I like Daisy Ridley as an actress.
She's a good voice actor. I would say, like, unfortunately, she's had to do that thing where she was good in Star Wars, and then they released. She's good in the first Star Wars, and they released that one recently with Tom Holland, which they shot almost at the same time.
Oh,
She was,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
flipping
Chaos Walking,
Chaos
yeah.
Walking, which apparently she and him are both very green in. So it's like, unfortunately, she's taken a step backwards in terms of like the audience's eye of
Yep.
what she's as an actor. I think she's a great actor. She was cool in the.
I didn't watch A Murder on the Orient Express.
I did. Bad movie. She's fine.
She's got a great voice. So I'd like, yeah.
Good voice, and that voice will be out before Christmas. But if it comes out after Christmas or before the 1st of 2022, Steph loses that one. Okay, so
It takes a drink.
our first 3 viewer submissions that came in on the Discord that we shouted out. The first one comes in from Raj, who predicts that this E3, Gus will puke in a road cone.
It's happened before, and it could happen again.
Put it on the board.
I would love for that to happen again. That would be a wild twist, particularly when, from all accounts, I hear that you're having a family weekend and there's going to be kids around.
That's why. But the most drinking happens, and I'm not saying because of my family, because I'm like putting up with them. My family will feed me alcohol.
That's
and it'll
true.
Just be like, yeah, I'll be like, get me a road cone. It's E3 week.
The next prediction comes in from our very own Gat, who says at
Gat is
some
a legend.
point, someone is going to say something like, quote, this past year has been really hard. Or I will add in here a variation on it's been unprecedented times.
Yep.
A year like no other.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've all faced troubled times.
Yeah.
And then crack a really bad joke about the pandemic.
Yeah, like coughing in a child's mouth or something.
Boom,
Yeah,
stamp
yeah.
them both. Oh my goodness,
You
Angus,
are a
you're
beast.
kicking.
What is going on?
Sorry. All good.
And then the third viewer submission comes in from T, who predicts that we will see an unneeded musical act.
What classifies as unneeded?
Ubisoft classify unneeded as Jason Derulo every
Unneeded.
second year.
Unneeded, I would say unneeded is a performance that does not add anything to the show. It's like,
Is
when
irrelevant to the games on show. Yep.
like Metallica closing out BlizzCon or something is like, that's cool.
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
did is cool.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Jason Derulo is not anyone who sing like you never hear
Anyone who says
Metallica
their
go
own name.
Metallica at the end of every one of their songs.
know.
So
James Hetfield would sell it though.
sorry.
James Hetfield would sell that if he had to.
See, I'm not even on board with the Metallica thing. I want it to be relevant to one game at all. They have to play a song from the game. They have to be on the game soundtrack. They have to write a new song about the game. I want that. I want someone from the Just
You
Dance
want like
squad.
a live performance of like
Yeah.
the soundtrack.
Unless it's
yeah.
that flute guy from Ghosts of Tsushima. That was shit.
That was great. He's like one of the.
That was the best musical performance that's been in a press conference in years.
That's just.
Okay, the reason it was shit, I missed it, and I caught the last bit of a guy just going, "Hoot," and I was like, oh.
You were asleep. We were there that E3, and we didn't. I don't know if we didn't get invited to the
didn't get
PlayStation thing,
invited.
or we
Maybe
just
that's
couldn't
where
get
it's
we couldn't get across there. So we were watching it on a live stream while editing a thing for Spawn Point at the time.
Pete's like, what's happening over there? I've tuned in. I was like, no.
No, Gus. Fuck you, Gus. That was incredible. Bad take. Show yourself out.
That should be a chant. Fuck you guys should just be a chant. Yeah, sort that out.
Gat.
Celtic beard. Gus is too funny. I love you too, Celtic.
Okay, so that is the first 3 predictions. Okay. Prediction round number 2.
Please.
My second prediction, E3 2021, a digital event, entirely online. How's that going?
With unnecessary musical acts with no audience.
Yeah. I mean, technically, all musical acts will be unnecessary at that point. My second prediction is a bit of a wild one, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it should happen.
Okay.
I predict we're going to get a teaser, trailer, image, logo, name, icon for the much anticipated video game, The Witcher 4.
Interesting. Witcher 4 anything tease.
And the reason I think that this is going to happen is the CD Projekt Red narrative has run away from them. And they cannot do anything without people just complaining about Cyberpunk.
Yep.
They, 2 days ago, a news story broke that because a bunch of documents got stolen during the development, and then someone leaked what appears to be an internal studio-made blooper reel of just bugs in the game.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that because that's I'm sure every studio does this. Of look at all the bad shit that's in our game right now,
Yeah.
and shared on the company Slack. But the mere fact that that comes out, all I see is people going they knew this game was shit before they released it, blah, 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 blah. And I just don't think they can do anything. Whenever they say the word Cyberpunk, it's just bad news, bad news. So they need something to bring the narrative back on train. They need to course correct. And simply saying, hey, here's this game. Here's what we're working on. You know what this is. You know that we've already delivered 3 of these. You know that we're going to do a good version of this because it's not this, hopefully not a completely wild, different, ambitious, whatever idea that is unwieldy.
Shooter.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it's what people want.
Do they own the license for 4, or are they exclusively tied to?
So they the initial deal that they signed with the creator was a 3-game run, and they definitely got a good deal out of it.
Yep.
A way better deal than the writer. The writer thought it'd be a flop, right? So he didn't. I can't remember his name. Well, it's a Polish name, and I would have an awful.
Steph's in the chat. Let us know.
Attack at pronouncing
He
it.
is pronounced as the author of The Witcher.
The author of The Witcher. It's Andrzej Strafeshki or something.
Yep.
And I've read most of them, and they're great. He said, "Yep, you can have it for." I think it was an upfront fee. 3 titles, go for good luck.
Yep.
Tiny Polish studio.
They're going to make deck builders.
Totally.
Suddenly.
Tiny Polish studio. CD Projekt Red won a name.
Yeah.
And then they made The Witcher 1 and it was good. And then they made The Witcher 2 and it was great. And then they made The Witcher 3 and took over the world, right? And GOG became this huge thing, and now there's massive company. So I imagine that there was a bit of animosity, I believe.
Apparently the writer sued them to get a bigger cut, according to Shameful Magic.
Yes.
Yep.
So animosity comes with lawsuits, but they've probably they definitely have negotiated since, and there is speculation that there will be a 4th game.
Okay. And I saw a bunch of chat about this, and Steph pointed out in chat that she's like, I could see where this is coming from, but I think it's too soon. And I absolutely can see that side of it.
Do you think it's entirely a play that they'll be like, here's a logo, here's the name.
That's why I'm like, it could just be the
make people
words
happy.
The Witcher 4.
Yeah.
It's just something to go
Not even the words, just the medallion.
The
For a
wolf
little
head
bit,
thing.
and everyone will go, ah!
Totally. And I absolutely think that could be something that,
Buys them time.
because even if they talk about Cyberpunk expansion stuff, it's going to be fix the game first before you try to sell us something else, even if you're giving it out for free. If they talk about Cyberpunk multiplayer, it's going to be I don't trust that at all. The way to fix this narrative, and even if they take a year, I just don't think Cyberpunk is ever going to become a game.
It just can't shake its stigma.
It can't shake its stigma. I think the stigma is too big, and also it's just not going to become the game that they want it to be. They thought that this would be a game that changes RPGs forever, and even when it works, it's not a game that is revolutionary when it comes to so many of its systems. So the thing to do is to go we're still working on this. They've already announced that they've split, and there are multiple teams now within CD Projekt Red working on stuff. So I think they'll come in and they'll go, here's the team that are working on Cyberpunk. Here's a team working on something unannounced, and here's a team, 4. It might even be 4, and that's it.
I just think it's going to be the medallion, and then
Went 4. We're skipping 2 and 3.
Cyberpunk 4. So that is my second prediction.
That'd be a good one.
Angus.
That'd be good.
Middle name Ronald.
That's the name. Look, I am going to risk it and see how well I spelt it if it's on the board.
Put it on the board, Will.
Surprise.
This is Family Feud again. Show me Roller Champs surprise drop.
Oh.
The Ubisoft
Use a different word.
Oh, nice. Clever.
Thank
Look
God.
at that. That's
Roller Champs, a game that is fantastic from what I've played, from what we've played in the closed beta that ran 2 years ago now? 1 year.
I think it was just last year.
Was it? No, it was 2. We were there.
Time moves differently in
time
COVID.
moves
I
differently.
definitely remember playing it last year. And so I think there was an open... Maybe it was closed and they didn't open last year.
I feel like it
2
was
years ago.
at the very start of last year or at the end of the year before.
Okay.
It was the end of the year before because it was still running or they had it again at PAX in November.
Yes.
So we must have
Yep.
played it before in October, November. Yeah.
Roller Champs, a fantastic sort of new...
June 2019, E3.
June
Wow.
2019.
There you go. A great game that has kind of gone dark for quite a long time now, and strange considering how the game felt pretty finished when we got a chance to play it and a heap of fun. So I would love to see that the reason they've gone dark is because they're like, you know what, let's not drip feed a bunch of info about a game people pretty much already have made their minds up about, which is, hi, we love it. And they're just waiting to drop it. And it's the kind of game that I think, didn't they drop the beta at E3? And they're like, it's playable from now for the week or something. I vaguely
It was like a weekend. Yeah.
a weekend that was close to E3. So they've already dabbled with the idea of getting the hype up in that little week period. So I'd like them to do it again and surprise me.
It's strange because Ubisoft are a developer who put out tons, but they also have a series of games right now that are kind of in limbo, development hell, reworking, like Roller Champions, Skull and Bones, Beyond Good and Evil 2,
Good and Evil.
and they're working on an Avatar video game. And these are 4 video games that it's like no one knows what it's like. It's like
We
these,
know they exist,
It's like
and
these
we don't-
video games spoke out against a dictator. And were a journalist who wrote a questionable article and just disappeared. Like they're just like, we knew them and then suddenly they're gone. It's like, hang on, has anyone seen Skull and Bones here for a while? No, gone off the face of the planet. So that is I'm keen. And you could be in with even more of a shot than my Psychonauts pick with the surprise
reckon?
drop for that. Yeah, because I think
so
it's also
dear.
I imagine it's going to be free.
Yep.
Obviously, Psychonauts have come to Game Pass, but it's also the kind of game that, like, I don't know if people during E3, because the problem with E3, the double-edged sword of E3, is that you can you can get lost in the news cycle.
True, yeah.
Roller Champs being a multiplayer game is kind of the thing that people might be looking for E3, where it's like everyone's talking about video games, everyone's following that week. So when you're at night, you're like talking to your friends, playing a multiplayer game, rather than like, oh, I'm just going to be like in this Psychonaut style world. It's actually like, oh, let's talk about what we saw at the Xbox press conference while we play a couple of rounds of Roller Champs.
I don't know if this ever plays into actually how these decisions get made, but the idea that something like Knockout City came out recently and has gained a heap of traction and people are loving it and playing that, I wonder if that either makes them go, we gotta get in there now, or it makes them go, shit, we're gonna put it off for a while as well and let people cool down from team-based ball future sports. And
which is not a genre we were expecting to blow up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, would really love to see that. Or, yeah, and not just, it's still in the works, guys. Actually, you know what? I would take that, actually, over no info at this stage. But I would
think
much
it's
prefer-
pretty likely it's going to come out.
All right. Pete and I are very,
Sorry.
very keen in
I
particular.
think it's pretty likely.
Peter
But there you
Burns.
Devolver Digital is going to have a new genital-themed game in their
I
lineup.
spelled genital, right?
And it's going to feature a bespoke peripheral. They've done this before with genital jousting.
Yep.
We saw it at E3.
We did.
A bunch of fine phallus controllers that operated as joysticks to control genital jousting. And I think we're ready for a new genital game. And maybe it could be something to do with the vagina.
What
but
other
we'll have to-
genitals are there?
Well, I mean,
Is it are breasts? Are
All I'm
breasts
saying is
and
that-
the anus counted as genital?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
All I'm saying is the penis has had its time.
God,
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So
No. Okay, fine.
So that's what I expect to see. I expect to see a vagina-based game in the Devolver Digital press conference. And this sounds weird out of context, particularly for people who don't watch
I can't wait
Devolver
till it
Digital's
gets
things.
cut out and
but I
in the
think,
intro next week out of context.
yeah, Will, don't fuck me.
Oh, fuck you.
You'll find.
That's going in the intro.
There you go. That's it.
That's going in.
It should just be 2 minutes of that.
Yeah. I think we're ready. I think we as a society are ready.
Totally.
Yeah.
We've been scared of the word vagina for too long.
Well, not on this show.
But I think in general. So it'd be nice to see.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. I'll save it for the post show. But it
It's a
does
puzzle game,
involve
so it's
taking a part of the vagina and putting it in some sort of future-based ball sport. So there you go. Okay, good. And bespoke peripheral.
Yeah.
Purchasable, or just they make one to sort of show it off a trade show style thing?
Trade show style thing,
Okay.
but also it comes with like a 6-pack of oysters or something like that.
Yeah, okay, good. That's a real Devolver move.
I did not see that coming.
Okay,
Well,
That was just for the jaw drop over here.
good. Will,
Yeah.
tell us about another charming
Yeah, no,
Lego
say
game.
let me tell you about my childhood hero Indiana Jones and the fact that he is getting a game from Machine Games, Bethesda. They just dropped a teaser earlier. I think I've written gameplay, but I think it may be one of those in development thing, like showing some mocap, showing some concept art and stuff like that. And I think my big stake, not a peripheral, but it would possibly end with Harrison Ford in costume saying something because they've just started filming. So
get the camera out of my face.
basically, and maybe I don't mean maybe his voice is too. He has voiced Han Solo for the Lego games, and I think for Disney Infinity. So maybe there's a bit of a drop of that as well. That he's going to provide voice work for.
Are we going to see him in the mocap suit when you see some
hope
behind the
so.
scenes stuff?
in his like awkward running that he's been doing since like 2005.
Yep.
Do we know what this game is going to be? Because
No.
my hope is that it is backbone Indiana Jones. Like
No,
that's what I want it to be. I don't want a 3D action. I don't want a 3D
I do.
thing.
I want the the Emperor's.
gonna be awful.
Something the kind of Tomb Raider.
The one you were talking about,
What was
Fate
the
of
Xbox one?
Atlantis.
Fate of Atlantis was the LucasArts one, and it was
a
brilliant.
really
but
good third-person action game.
no, it wasn't.
Punching
It
the
was
whip,
just no, it
everything.
wasn't.
It was
No.
great. It was really
Emperor's
good.
Tomb is maybe the one as well.
Emperor's Tomb is the one I
PS2.
think I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't actually know what kind of game I want. Is it confirmed what age he is?
It's said to be it's Indy in his prime. I think was
Okay,
the
right.
thing.
So he can be. So then it'll be Uncharted or Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
like,
it'd be a missed
that's
opportunity
100%
to
what
now
that's gonna
do the
be.
thing we
You're
want,
not.
which is-
You're not selling like millions of copies of a point-and-click adventure game.
But do you need to sell millions of copies? Sorry, Will, I just cut you. Do you need to sell millions of copies? It's Bethesda. They need to diversify. They've got 3D action.
The thing I really want to get really invested in here is the fact that the thing we want right now is an indie film with a young, capable indie, which we can't have because he's too old, objectively. And it's like, so...
No, we need to stop making this franchise.
So we need to stop making them. But the magic of video games is that we can take his voice and put him into a younger body and have an adventure of the
You
film.
can't de-age that voice, though.
Part-time.
Well, but the question is, what's interesting about Indiana Jones? Because... like, is it the action that he gets into, or is it the sort of like...
Unfortunately, the most interesting thing about Indiana Jones in action is when he fails. So I don't know how you communicate that in a game.
That's what I mean.
Well,
it's like,
like-
how much
Yeah.
do you want in Indiana
It's
Jones
not-
where he's running around shooting Nazis?
Yeah.
like he's Nathan
It's
Drake.
not that he fails, it's that he's a teacher.
Yeah.
He's a historian.
He's an archaeologist, and he's
a historian that finds
part-time.
himself part-time.
Part-time.
In a Nazi war camp.
You're right. The thing I was going to say,
Alexandria.
it's the adventure he gets strung along on, and
Yeah.
the locations and that time period, like,
which
that
lends
is the-
itself beautifully to a point-and-click adventure game.
Let me tell you about a little game called The Outer Wilds that you could do some sort of like archaeological, solve this puzzle, go do this thing.
Yeah, okay, right.
Like, you are indie going on, like, not stuck in a time loop, but going and, I don't know, like, maybe it's not possible. Maybe we're just too bored or too short of an attention span or something, but like a game where it is mainly about discovering in a AAA sense as opposed to like a tour area.
Which would make any action moments really impactful, which is kind of when you think of the films. Like, he's not mowing down Nazis the whole film. Like, there's a couple of really great punches and fights, and a couple of times where he draws the gun and, gets the jump on someone. It's not a Nathan Drake, I mowed down 20 goons to get here kind of thing. So you're right, that could work, and then get some sort of like little action moments, vignettes in between it all.
Yeah.
Well,
like a little action animated cutscene in between all the pointing and clicking.
What you're describing is the Telltale games if they were really, really good.
Totally. Yeah, 100%.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Indiana Jones, put it up on the bod.
It already is.
Good job, William.
By the way, Pete, just to, I mean, that was all very wholesome. Thank you very much, Will. I just want to point out for your Devolver Digital genital game, Pat is melting said Devolver, and that's quite spectacular.
Pat is melting. Fuck yes.
Wow, that is stuff that like even they can't come up with, and we need to patent that.
Okay, the next three.
We got Steph first.
Oh, we got Steph first. Sorry, of course.
And here she is.
She's watching.
My lovely wife.
So my second prediction is that there will be some sort of shoehorned big name celebrity cameo from some publisher in the hopes of recreating the 2019 Keanu Reeves memeability. But I think it will be, at best, kind of forgettable, and at worst, pretty cringe, because that was just a lightning in a bottle moment in time.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Well,
the best celebrity cameo
I would say
they've ever had?
He was awful.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he said that someone in the crowd yelled shit at him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that made that.
I love you, Keanu, and he said, I love you.
No,
he said
you're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Your breathtaking is
You're
like
breathtaking.
a defining.
Yeah,
moment
that's
of
right.
the three.
Though I will say that with this, it's probably more likely that this will happen because this is all like a pre-recorded thing.
That's true.
He doesn't like Keanu wouldn't need to show up. So whoever this person is, they don't need to show up. They could just record something at home.
Yep.
It could be The Rock. It could be Sharon Stone. It could be anybody.
I think you're a little harsh on Keanu Reeves. Like, he is beloved, and like he does have this kind of.
It's always exciting, but he wasn't interesting. He's interesting because he's Keanu Reeves,
But
not
before
because he
got
was
to the
good at
breathtaking
delivering
moment-
cyberpunk.
Before he
bullshit.
got to the breathtaking moment,
Yeah.
people were like, "We love everything you touch and everything you do." So
Yeah.
like, we're willing to be like as daggy as whatever he had to say is like, "This game lets you do these things," and we're all like, "We know. It's just stay up there." And then that extra moment was really lovely. So I do think he was like the people's celebrity for a
He
gaming
still is.
press conference, and I don't think there's anyone I can think of who would top that.
Sharon Stone.
Who
Sharon
would come out
Stone.
without.
She could reveal
She's
the Devolver game.
Volva Digital.
Oh, that was like we'd planned it.
Oh, God damn it.
Wonderful.
But yes, I think that.
Steph, put your money where your mouth is. Who do you think it'll be?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's and beyond that, who's would be your dream?
I've seen a couple of people saying Jack Black in chat, and obviously Jack Black has ties with
Double Fine.
Double Fine,
Yep.
so that could be a possibility for sure.
And he's in Psychonauts too.
Yep. Get two birds with one. Sharon Stone.
There you go. So we'll wait on Steph. Calling her shot. But yeah, that's good. I reckon that one's coming true. I reckon that's a solid
Good
prediction.
Bet. Good bet.
The next three viewer submission.
Yep.
Pocketeer predictions. Twilight Princess 102 says there'll be a new Tomb Raider game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
We're about due.
Yeah, we're due. I'm keen for. I love that.
That series, unfortunately, amazing with the reboot. Sequel was pretty good. Third one didn't get as was not
It's
loved.
like more of the same. Really.
I never played it
Yeah.
because I'd heard that, and I feel like it's ready for its round 2 reboot. It's ready for its.
It's like the Assassin's Creed cycle of going like, these games are great. I'll play the next one because I enjoyed this iteration of the series. Third one, they're still making those, and then it's like you have a break for one game, and then you come back for the next one.
You rework
That's
a
my
core
cycle.
mechanic, you change up something drastically enough, and you go, we're back in this way. Hitman kind of did it a little bit too, in the way that they were like, oh,
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
The problem is they've done the reboot.
Yes.
Like younger, like way more sort of like Uncharted-y style. Like it took the lessons from Uncharted and applied to that. I don't know what you do with. I feel like you probably have to do something new with it.
Point and click adventure.
Is she old?
I think it's less about that, and it's more about. Didn't the third game try to do a little bit of like base building? Like you had a village you'd constantly return to, and you brought a lot back to it, and you were sort of helping that.
It's that problem. It's that problem of escalation that any series has. Is like, well, this thing needs more, and like. Actually becomes less refined because of that. Because
and the first one was so wonderfully refined in the sense that it all took place on that island with branching paths, and they kind of just got it right so well. The first one.
Totally. Yeah, it's actually a bit of a weird spot of going like, oh no, I don't know what else I want from that series. But do I want more of that series? I would say yes, just because it's like fun to play. But I could also just go back and play those other three games.
That game was phenomenal. Did we get a definitive edition or something? The first reboot?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On.
There was a PC version, I think, as
well.
well.
Okay, right.
Because it had the thing that killed the first one or the second one was that it was exclusive to Xbox for a year.
Yeah.
That was and that was like, oh god, not a lot of people played that because not a lot of people had Xbox Ones.
Yeah. I'd actually replay the first one again if it came out with a shiny Xbox Series X version. That game is phenomenal.
The next prediction comes in from Star Exian, who said that they predict we'll see an incredibly well-produced CGI trailer, which gives us no clue about how the game will actually play.
Ooh, are we talking? Is it like Ghostwire Tokyo kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Those where you like,
where you go like, what is this?
What was that?
This is great, and I get so annoyed with those. That was
the initial.
But no one saw that come. No one saw Death Stranding come. That first trailer, Death Stranding, you're like, oh my god! And then the reveal of like he's a mailman with ladders. You just go like, it's not what I took from that trailer.
Yeah, and you go, I want that. It's so good.
Yeah. That's always fun though. That's always fun. It's like I love this like moment in time of being like
everything's possible.
It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a baby in a tube. For some reason.
What, as opposed to a baby in a bottle?
Well, yeah.
This is the next Stranding game.
Wasn't it in the throat? It was in the throat. It was in like esophagus.
Yeah, it was.
That first shot. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was the worst game ever made, the most boring piece of shit, and it came from the most interesting trailer.
Yep.
So anything can happen.
Yeah. What? Okay, how about this? What if it's a CGI trailer of just a
box.
No, of a postman wandering around just a super suburban street delivering mail, and that's it. And then in 2 years' time, we play the game, and you've got like a baby gun, and it's like you shoot out babies in a post-apocalyptic future.
Now, that's a video game.
Wow, that's wild.
I have been waiting.
That way, the opposite.
I have been waiting for the next strand. Like
saltiest pretzel, a baby. Wait for it. In a baby.
Oh, you know what that is?
Turducken baby.
Thank you very much. Harlow took one that I was actually thinking would be a one of my picks, and that is a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 reveal with release date minimum 1 year away, if not longer.
That's your CGI trailer as well.
Well, we know how the game will play, though.
That's true. We know how the game will play.
But it would be it would be purely cinematic. You're right. It wouldn't be any of the actual gameplay. That's the one that they've just been hanging out there. That's like, we're going to do that eventually, but we have no like roadmap of how we're actually going to continue that remake.
They haven't really said much more about it. It is the perfect time for it. There is rumor of I reckon we'll probably see a Final Fantasy 16 thing. There's rumor that they're going to release Final Fantasies 1 through all the way up until 6 as like a Switch or PC like collection. And then for something like this, Intergrade just came out today. So Final Fantasy, the PS5 upgrade with the new story thing. So it's like...
And the new smoke effects.
And so that stuff is out right now. So you're capitalizing on the little bit of marketing and stuff that came out with that to go, hey, and again, doesn't need to be a big trailer because
we all know what's there. And we've seen the engine. We just want people who play that and love that just want the next.
Final Fantasy VII, I think, could be the little game that could, like people might start to finally be aware of it.
And just start playing it. Maybe 6 or 7 times. It's people who love Final. I mean, I'm excited. As soon as I get through Prey, which I'm loving, I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII is my other part of the game, which I may not love as much, but we'll see. Nice. So I'm excited for that. Okay, cool.
Good suggestion.
On to our last round.
Yep.
My final prediction. The head of a major rival studio or publisher will come onto Microsoft's stream.
Stop there.
And hug Phil Spencer as they announce they're joining Game Pass.
Interesting.
They have to hug him.
They have to hug.
They have to
Well,
hug
it says there on the thing.
So in your mind, what's a rival studio that isn't already on Game Pass?
Sony.
So,
Ubisoft and Sony.
it could be Sony, but it won't be.
It won't be. There's no fucking way.
It could be the potentially rumored Steam partnership.
Oh, yeah.
That they're joining forces. If it happens,
That's not COVID safe. Chat points out that's never going to happen because it's not COVID safe. But in a
if they've both got tested, it's totally fine.
Yeah, and been in and had the old
and they've had the injection. I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
Because they're in America, they fucked up literally everything about COVID except for the vaccine.
Had to fix it.
Except the studio that I think it could be is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And with Ubisoft, I would say that it is not day and date new release games, but it is some of their back catalogue.
It's the EA kind of...
The EA Play style thing. And even though EA Play, I think some of their stuff is coming day and date for
believe so,
release.
yeah.
So I don't know whether Ubisoft will go that full route or they'll just go like, there's a 6-month window and we have exclusivity, and then because they probably don't want to lose like the PlayStation.
It is literally the
6-month
only
window.
platform Ubisoft aren't on.
Yeah,
It's a 6-month window for all their other games, apart from...
Roll Champions, which is out right now. You can play it right now.
You can play it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Hug me.
There you go. Hug me, Eve. So that is the pick. They have to hug him. Though. They have to. But next week, if Ubisoft or Valve or whoever come out,
it's a firm handshake.
No. I still get those points, and I will debate. that I ever said he needed a hug. So that is my prediction.
Yeah, very nice.
Angus Ronald.
My final prediction is that Breath of the Wild 2 will win Game of the Show. A kind of...
according to Angus.
No. Well, an award that is just kind of like amalgamates all the gaming press and journalists over the week that come out and say which was the thing that we thought was the best.
Well,
this ties into the fact that there will be a trailer for it.
Yep.
There will be some gameplay for it. We saw nothing at the last Nintendo Direct. I feel like they're keeping their cards close to their chest and they're waiting to E3 to go, here is the big trailer of everything that you're going to see in it, and everyone is going to be blown away by it. They're going to have a good 15-minute gameplay session with it after the trailer, and everyone is going to come out of E3 week and say, you know what? Breath of the Wild 2, that is my game of show. It's an award that never is, categorically held as this was.
There's nothing official about it.
There's nothing official about it, but that's just, there will be enough. The Metacritic of people saying game of the show will be Breath of the Wild. Don't take this away.
And so you're assuming we're going to see the new Switch as well at this, because this is going to come out on that.
This is
hardware.
a stacked prediction.
Yeah.
It depends on
This
seeing
is a
footage of Breath of the
multi-bet
Wild 2,
prediction.
which depends on getting Switch Pro release information as well. It is sitting on the top of that not only will we see Switch Pro, will we see Breath of the Wild 2, it will be the best thing.
Well, can I make a suggestion for something that I guarantee will happen? Will, if you change the O in that acronym to a U,
Game of...
So just a U?
Yep.
Oh, you.
The O
I
in
heard,
it.
I heard Y for some reason.
No, that's wrong.
That's a
Yeah.
classic Gus error.
Breath of the Wild 2 wins Gus.
Wins
Breath of the
Gus.
Wind 2 wins Gus.
So I think that's a guarantee.
I'll take that.
For it to win Game Show, I think there has to be gameplay.
Yes.
And Nintendo have come out and said that this is a software-based, software-only Direct that they're doing.
Okay, so I also
the rumor
believe-
is that the Switch Pro will not be announced here.
So let's take the bottom layer out of that.
You can't do that. The bet's already been lodged, sir. I'm sorry. I've already taken the money.
But this money to feed my kids. Yeah, totally. I would also think it would be strange for them to make it a Pro exclusive. I think it'll have bells and whistles if you have a Pro. Similar to what we've seen with the PS4 and the PS5, they're not going to abandon the original Switch base, and they're going to be like, this is totally playable on that. And they famously did show a bunch of footage for Breath of the Wild 1, which was like demo style. It was just showing the horse in a field and how it controls, which was super early. We hadn't actually seen anything concrete about the game. They were just like, hey, here's some footage of how it looks, and everyone was blown away by it. So I think they're going to do the same thing.
I hope to see it.
I saw
me know.
in
Breath of the
chat, Salty Pretzel said, I'm surprised that Starfield isn't on bingo yet. Must be saving it for later. There's no way it doesn't get a legit trailer. I don't think any of us have Starfield here because it's like so assumed that it's going to be there
Yeah.
that we were like, it's not really a prediction, it's almost a guarantee. So therefore,
Yeah.
But
it was
that's
it
the
was
thing.
in like the Starfield world was in the Microsoft
Was in the
saying,
logo.
hey, we're going to be at E3 and
Yeah.
here's Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much guaranteed that's going to be there.
Go.
Peter Pan.
Your last one.
My last one is along the lines of yours. It features the same man. It features Phil Spencer.
God bless
and he is going to be on stage, and at some point, he's going to be in his recording, and he's going to make a reference to there being something behind him.
And that's a bit now.
That's going to be a bit. He's aware of it now. It's a
Yeah.
conscious thing. He's going to be, there's something behind me that's interesting. And
Ooh.
for double points,
Wait, what?
I'm just...
I don't even know how the scoring system works, so
This
sure.
was- for double points, for this stack, I'm stacking like you stacked. That something is going to be Hideo Kojima. Bam! Hideo Kojima is going to be on Phil Spencer's shelf
And
for 40 minutes before he crawls
That would
off
be
and says,
incredible.
here's an exclusive game for the Xbox platform.
And
a
Hideo
triple point.
Kojima will be on Game Pass.
No. Kojima's going to be painted like the wall.
Yes!
He's painted like the shelf, and then he just peels away.
Like a
yes.
Wes Anderson film.
Yes!
That's great. I love
And he's
it.
going to
I love
say, Roller Champs is out today.
You know what the best thing, and I'm sure I think chat's already caught up to me. I'm sure the licensing isn't even there. But if he came out, it was like PT is on Game Pass. it would blow my mind.
Oh, wow.
I love the fact that Hideo Kojima. So you're saying it has to be a Hideo Kojima, and he has to have been there for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Time.
Hideo Kojima has been hidden in the background of Phil Spencer the whole time.
Because wasn't to ground this in some form of reality, there was rumor that he had, Phil Spencer had the kind of astronaut statue from Kojima Productions.
That was a rumor. That was there. It was there.
That
The rumor
existed.
was that
there was talks that that there was potentially a discussion about Hideo Kojima making a game for the Xbox platform, which obviously Death Stranding wasn't, because there's no post office simulators on Xbox.
Xbox only want to put out good games. We're on 996 viewers. Can you get 4 friends to turn this on? I'd like to hit 1,000.
Can you make 4 more?
Get your mum and dad.
Yeah, get your mum and dad to just tune into Twitch. And while you're here, subscribe to
Two of
Twitch
you.
and subscribe to the Patreon and do all the stuff. Like, we never plug that. I will figure out how to put more plugs in there about
We should.
plugging.
But for
Remember
hot
how much
takes
I
like
used to
this-
beg people to give us money?
Rattlesnakes.
Whoa!
We have to find a way for Backpocket to play PT.
We just did it. We're on 1,012. Yep.
Oh, awesome. We have a
console with it installed
PS4
on.
with my personal PS4 has PT on it, and it's on its way getting shipped back to us because we shipped it.
No. I
What
forgot to tell you. Okay, so we did this job, and they needed a PlayStation for whatever
Reason.
The people
What?
that were not Sony, this is a third-party company, could not facilitate that, so we needed to. We gave them the PlayStation, Pete's PlayStation in the office and handed it over, and it was very specific. It was like, we need this back because this has software on it that we can't ever get again. This has a game on it that does not exist anymore. We need this back. It then went off.
Can I point out that we, on this couch, are learning things at the same time as you, the audience, from Nick here.
What do you mean?
And I'm Well, I don't know what he's about to say. We think
the
it's in the
next
way, and he
thing-
said, no. He's got some information for us.
So then I've been bugging this person and this company and the manager of this person, all sorts of stuff, to get this console back for
Where's my
weeks.
fucking PlayStation?
The package has arrived in my house.
Oh, thank God.
Here's the rub.
Oh, no.
The person that we gave it to was in hotel quarantine at the time.
That's true.
The package has come from the hotel.
So it's been...
So I do not want to open this
Yeah,
package.
okay, fair.
Oh, okay.
Because
right.
I'm like, what's in the box?
What's in the
the
okay,
box?
that's fine.
It's come directly from the quarantine. I thought the package would come from the person's house because they have since left quarantine.
Yep.
So I think, first of all, they left it at the hotel.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they've been out of the hotel for weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
But now that package is coming from the hotel and it's sitting in my office and it's all taped up, and I'm like, I don't want to
Leave it in the box. I thought you were going to say they
sprayed it, they've, like, dunked
they
it
hit it
into,
with a
like-
foam gun of
Well, they
like
just got some
sanitizer.
Purell and rubbed it over the whole thing. So like, that'll do.
So how long does COVID last on surfaces?
Long time?
I thought it was 2 weeks in the open air.
It is. Well, what about boxed air?
Boxed air, you never know.
Yeah.
Go put it in the bathroom and run a hot shower for like 20 minutes and just steam that thing up.
And again, Chat continuing to just be fucking phenomenal. Hambake says PT still scaring us 4 years later.
Very good.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Back to our list.
I also
William.
see it's the Simpsons thing when you open it and that green cloud comes out.
Oh, that's totally every time when I open suspicious packages. That's what I think.
no.
Okay, Will, hit us
Yes.
with your last prediction.
It's a huge one. It's not. I'm a simple man. It's a simple request or a simple. I'm intrigued. They're all at home. No one's out on a very freezing cold stage. I know there's hot lights, but stages get very cold. Our man Todd Howard, I think, in his own little humble abode, no leather.
Wow.
No leather for Todd.
No leather jacket.
No, wait. No, he said no leather.
Yeah, it's true. He could be
Howard
no,
famously wearing leather underpants all the time.
All the time.
All
yeah,
the
so
time.
no leather
for
whatsoever.
Todd.
No leather thong.
no leather. He has to be pantsless.
What about
We have to
vegan
know.
leather?
Do you reckon this is a Microsoft mandate? That Phil Spencer comes out and he's like, you can't look cooler than me.
Yeah, well, he will be wearing. Of
course, he will
will be Phil.
He's Phil
But
Spencer.
doesn't like Phil Spencer wears a black leather jacket and
He
Todd
does.
Howard wears a brown leather jacket. So then
Yeah, but that's like you and Pete sitting there, and clearly Pete pulls it off better.
cigar brown.
I'm kidding. I think you look great in that.
Thank
It's
you.
a really good look.
Thank
I
you.
like you in furry collars.
No, I know exactly what that means, and I really respect that compliment. But
That's
the
a
way
sex thing.
that works,
Oh!
the way that needs to be on a T-shirt is "I love you" in furry collars.
Step 10.
There he is. All right.
10.
Step 10, howl.
P and FC.
William, that is the least likely thing to happen on this entire list.
Yeah,
You're a
totally.
madman.
That's
I know.
ridiculous.
You're a madman.
Breath of the Wild will get it's out before
Yeah.
this happens.
I think that Todd Howard has gone so far as to when he is nude, he has had a professional leatherworker tan his skin.
Yeah.
He's a never
He
not
is
leather.
leather.
Yeah.
At this point, he's leather.
He is leather. When he dies, which he may never,
He's leather. He can't die.
He will be just leather. Wait, what happens to leather? It's
already
slowly
dead.
Only if you
it's
wear
already
it a
dead.
lot.
But like leather jackets from
Get yourself a box of balms, creams, and brushes, and you
There we
need to
go.
you need to condition that leather. Let me mansplain it to you.
It was Angus.
What a
The
callback.
funniest thing I've ever heard you say, and it wasn't even a joke.
No.
Okay, so we've got
Even better than Surprise.
we've got Steph's final E3 drinking game prediction.
Here it is.
Bring him up.
All right, this is my
Bingo.
final E3 2021 prediction. Before I say it, though, I would like to remind you to keep sending in your words from our sponsor. And I would like to
good on
offer
you,
you
Steph.
this as inspiration for next week's submission.
I hope they're like the aloe vera ones.
Very good. Okay. My final E3 prediction is that Fortnite will announce a crossover event with Zack Snyder and launch an entire Justice League themed season of Fortnite entirely in black and white.
I like this one.
Have they not
I miss
just
my wife. She's always here.
Yeah, it's true. You guys rarely spend a lot of time apart.
I know, it's
You're
great.
apart a lot in the same house.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not
yeah,
actually
yeah.
distance-wise.
Yeah, I can always hear.
Do you want me to come over and spoon you for a bit?
No.
Do you want me to come over and judge the really horrible jokes that you say and then play Destiny in the corner?
Yeah,
Okay.
and when I hit the 5 years button in a minute when no one expects it,
so
you
fucking
can just
angry.
hit me
I'm gonna be so angry.
while the video's up. She hits me really hard.
you really hard.
She tries to hurt me.
She gives you
while
a
it's
dead
up.
leg with one of
Yeah.
these punches. Where's
She does the Randy Orton, drops the elbow.
Oh yeah.
You guys never see that. You guys never see that because we would never show that. But she does abuse my legs.
Batman,
doesn't, he
Superman, and The Flash just announced and put into Fortnite as of the most recent season drop this last week?
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Well, Batman and Superman were already. Well, Batman and Flash were already.
Batman and Flash.
But,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Superman is
Yeah.
in the new season.
Yeah. And number 2, I'd like a wife. Why is he getting all the lonely sympathy?
5 years for what you did. Do not forget what you did.
Yes. No.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus, actually hit
That
me.
was solid.
I'm glad I didn't give you the hammer this week.
Okay.
I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
We're going to try and organize that for you.
Yeah.
In terms of Steph's prediction, I love the idea of Fortnite going black and white.
I know, that would be
Imagine
cool. That
all
would
those
actually be
kids
sick.
just going like, what the fuck is happening?
All adjusting their monitors, being like, Mom, my iPad's
in
broken."
4:3, and they're
Yes.
like, oh man, that would annoy me so much, particularly on a 21:9 monitor, Nick. We would just be like, what the fuck?
Here's the thing. A lot of you out there are suffering a 16:9 problem when you need a 29. I'm so sorry about your leg. That's his driving leg as well.
No, that's the
Oh, it's more left leg
That's
on the
rested
clutch.
foot.
Yeah.
That's his right leg.
Yeah, I know, but the right leg just sits on the accelerator, pretty comfortable pace on the M4, mate.
Yeah.
And I guess you don't use the left leg that much when you're driving on the M4 either. Move on.
Pete, bring back Peter. Where's Peter?
Both my legs, I don't use them. Will, take over the show, please.
Nicrotex earlier in the chat said, I don't know what I did to deserve the best segments, but fuck, it's an honor. What are we talking about?
Black and white.
Black and white.
Fortnite would be great.
Would be so
totally
good.
unnecessary. It would change the gameplay, but also piss off a lot of little kids who play that game.
Yeah.
I'll also say
I think
that,
it'd
like,
be
Chris Nolan, obviously they did Tenet in there.
Yeah.
Like, best buds with Zack Snyder, so maybe there could be a little bit of a...
There you go.
There's a little connection there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the final three predictions coming in from the chat. 7, and this is tying into Pete's. Lucas Horatio says a tease to Kojima's next game,
Yeah, nice.
which we are due.
yeah.
Like, all jokes aside, all awful Stranding games aside, the man has to be working on something.
Yeah.
And look, jokes aside as well, I wasn't a huge Kojima fan in terms of didn't play a heap of his games. I played the last Metal Gear that he did, and it was super ambitious, and I finished it, and I liked bits of it, and I could see the genius of the polish. But I was like, I'm not on board. And I know it's a joke, but I really loved Death Stranding. So I'm actually like, yeah, he's working on another game. I'm super keen to see what it is.
Yeah, same.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
me
on
too.
board 100%.
Like, and, you know,
Ready
and
for it to be batshit crazy and be like, I don't actually want to play
jokes aside again, I didn't enjoy Death Stranding at all. But I loved the ambition of his idea to make a game that was about moving stuff.
Rotflow 360, the next Strand type game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
It's not
But
a thing.
they tried to make it a thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they publicly tried to make it a thing and it took off
Well,
to someone else.
Yeah, George
No,
Miller
people-
said it
yeah.
explicitly.
Yeah. They've been talking about Strand games. Yeah. So that's a good one. Ash Ketchum says Simpsons Hit and Run Remastered.
Yeah.
Which seems to be
something that seems to be popping
Yeah, I
up
see
a lot.
people say this a lot. I don't know whether or not this is. You said it, this could be. I haven't seen it before. This could be one of those things where
It
people
feels
are
like a thing that I see on Reddit a bit. Like, there's a lot of love for Simpsons Hit and Run.
Love that game
fan
so
favorite.
much.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's one of those things. It's almost like it's not quite Battletoads, like the like prank calling EB games and saying or GameStop and saying, "Have you got Battletoads?" But it's like it's a little bit like Skate 4 or whatever. Skate 4. Where's Skate 4? Where's Simpsons Hit and Run
such a joke now.
remastered?
Well, we're getting a new Skate, so
It's such,
we should
it's such
be
a
getting
joke
a.
now that they know that there's an audience there that would buy enough copies purely out of the fact that they are just such diehard fans of the meme or whatever. Or
Yeah.
I will say it's very similar to the SpongeBob game that came out like last year, and I would just worry graphically what they would do to remaster it because that game they just like blasted Bloom and made everything really soft. So I'd almost want them to just keep the game as it is.
Just give us a version that we can play on current
Yeah,
gen at a
basically,
silky
yeah.
frame rate.
Yeah.
Just
In
GTA
21.9.
5, Just keep pushing.
In 21.9.
And then the last one, Shan Pants wants Mario Kart 9.
I think you're going to get it.
I reckon you're going to get it.
Yeah,
and I reckon
very reasonable.
Yeah, I reckon you are in for a really good shot of that potentially being announced here.
Yeah.
I think that it's the series that we haven't gotten a new one on the Switch. We got 8.
It's pretty polished. 8 is polished and has had like some DLC and just lives long in the hearts of people who continually play it. And it is such a good looking, like it's the pinnacle of Nintendo's round, soft, crisp graphics. Like I can't imagine, and like the driving is all spot on. I guess we just need now blow it open with another, 20, 50 tracks or something and just be like, here's more. Like that's what people just want now. They're just so used to playing the same one.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
But
It'd be a good battle mode, says Steph. Battle mode is always the bomb.
It's been shit in the most recent ones.
Yeah, I know,
It just hasn't had the same, heart as the 60.
And I do want to shout out Almighty Fenrir said, I'm surprised that no one said anything about a new Elden Ring teaser. I was going to say that. I went a little more left of field because I actually think that we're not going to get an Elden Ring teaser at E3. We're going to get it at Summer Games Fest because Jeff Keighley has been out there. He has been teasing a game. He has a game that people are desperate to hear more about.
Yeah.
There are not that many games that fulfill that.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not going to be like Halo or something that like a first party studio has. It's not going to be Fable. Microsoft will keep that for themselves. He's in tight with From Software. He's a big Elden Ring dude. Elden Ring could be...
He's equally tight with Kojima.
He is as well. Yeah.
So it could be that.
It could be that as well, except it's... I took from the wording, it's not the Kojima game it's like... We don't know about it, so we don't want to know more about it. We want to know what it is, and then
he's saying it's a game that people want.
Yeah, so I actually think there's a really good chance that we're getting that this year. And that is the BP E3 Bingo drinking card list.
Let's hear that title again.
It's a good one. It's a good one. You want to hear that again?
Yeah, why not?
Hang on. Where is it?
Let's see those bouncing pocketies.
Here's this one. No, that was the end of that because
was so anticlimactic.
Okay, let me explain what happened here.
Okay.
No.
So the video didn't start from the top because
I'm so sorry to
because
everyone
I cut it at
It's
the end.
about me because it's...
Yeah, it is. It's because I faded off early so that we didn't see your graphic glitch.
Because BP jumps off the card.
Let's watch it in full now.
Let's
watch it in full right now.
Let's own our mistakes.
This is great. This is so fun. Good tune.
Oh, 3 of them. That's an
Three. That's okay.
Yeah, okay.
They're the same thing though, aren't they? Where'd the BP go?
Oh yeah. Why is it just E3
Works with the
bingo?
sound effect, doesn't
It does. I should have done this.
Now we're on.
I should have been doing that every time.
Good segment. So we will be revisiting this card next week because
Do a little score check.
the majority of all the conferences, the video pieces, the directs, everything will be over, and we'll be able to punch some holes in this. Oh no, you stamp it in bingo, don't you? You put like a nice rubber stamp on each one. That
You can do whatever you like, mate. It's your card. It's
I
your
think we
bingo
should have
card.
a drink next week for everyone we get right.
Okay.
Now what's the point system? 1 point for right, half a point if you're like if we agree you're in the vicinity.
No half points. It's just
No
like,
half
it's-
points.
only
it's a-
ten.
it's
But
just a vote.
otherwise
No, but it's a
there'll
vote
be like
based on the-
zero.
Do you
Oh, right.
want to-
No, here's
do
the
we
thing
do-
though, because
is it
otherwise we're
callback
going to
time?
end up
I don't
on
think it's
0
callback time.
points.
We haven't made
All
it
4 of us
funny
are going to
enough.
have. that we
don't
allow.
use the chat
I think
for
that
half
you
point voting.
have some
Use
sort of
chat to
weird
say stamp on it.
hierarchical
I'll bring
system.
a fucking
You've got
stamp.
some
I'll
weird
print
sort of
the
like
card.
God
Bring it in.
complex
We can
where you
laminate
think
them,
that
and I'll
whatever
stamp
you
them in.
think
You want
is
to
the
use
thing
the
that we should do,
traditional
and
lines, bingo?
instead
We
I
can
just
do
think
that as
half
well.
point
If you
system
just think
is
this
something.
is
It's called
a way
a
for us to come up
compromise.
with the
I understand that
competitive
that's
thing that we
something
can
you've
talk
never
about and
encountered
the fact
before
that this is
because
a
you've
skill we
got
have
4
together.
first
This
names
is
for a
something we've
name,
discovered
but
now
instead
that we
of
enjoy the
compromise is a
ability
way
to
that
talk
people come to a
uninterrupted.
conclusion
If it's
together.
Fell apart at the end trying to mimic.
They're done.
We're done.
We'll be back after this short break.
Let's go.
LokiCat wants you to think he's a good-looking man who wistfully looks off into the distance at weddings. But what is he hiding? Not only is he not the Norse god of mischief and the rightful heir of Jotunheim, he's not even a real cat. He was born a boy. But now that boy's all grown up, and that overgrown boy loves birds.
The man likes his cockatiels.
But does he love those birds too much?
This man sleeps with birds.
And cockatiels aren't the only Australian icon he's tried to fuck.
Those are flamin' pros!
Is this flamin' galah who you want in charge of the country if he ever decided to run for political office? LokiCat. When you head to the polls this weekend, make this 9th life his last. Authorised and paid for by Nick Boy Richardson.
years for what you did. Do not forget what you did.
Sam Funk choosing to go with the original mix. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
It's been 5 long years, and I think that we've forgotten that behind all of this madness, Peter's pushing all the buttons. We don't see it when it's coming, sometimes I wait, never maybe, then it's back to the Blue Mountains, driving Stefan's got it cranked there. It's a power he abuses, Russell's waiting for the drop, but old Jackman's never ready, he just wants it all to stop. He controls all of the assets, always changing out the gears, but don't ever be forgetting, it'll always be 5 years.
5 years for what you did. Do not forget what you did. What you did. 5 years for what you did. Do not forget what you did. Betrayal.
Look at that face.
No.
Yes, we are, Sam Funk.
Never. I'm never
So
happy.
good. That was great.
Fantastic.
We watched that a bit earlier tonight when we were just running through to make sure all the videos were working, and you should have seen how delighted Gus was. Like, was so excited, clapping at one point. It was very good.
He's like, that's me.
It was just a wonderful merging of the idea of some beautiful song lyric writing, but also the chance for Sam Funk to be like, here's me being sick at
Flexing.
Halo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, good on you.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins in that.
Thank you, of course, to LokiCat and CrossBunzzz as well for your continued patronage of our fine show, if I do say so myself, and I will. If you want to patron our show, then head to patreon.com/backpocket or backpocket.gg. There are links there to our Patreon. Patreon is the primary way with which this show is made. Do you have any idea how expensive Will is? It's phenomenal.
And he won't even fuck you.
Oh my God.
He said it. It's a callback. It's a callback.
In a vacuum, it's not good. It's not good.
The show's not in a vacuum. If you watch the whole show, you would have got that.
Someone's going to clip that, though.
Will's going to clip it and put it in next week. See?
Oh, I'm getting... You know
How are you-
when
your
you
kidney?
laugh so hard and your stomach starts to convulse and like the muscles are tensing up and just the idea of it's not good.
That was one of those classic, and Will, I apologize if that put you in a precarious situation. Is this as the words left my mouth, many calls that Nick makes, I just went, no.
And it's the last time that happened to me was when I asked him to fuck me a couple of weeks ago.
Get well soon, Steph. Please.
You know Will's mum watches the show.
That's all I could think about.
God damn it. I'm so sorry, Roxy.
It can't be
Will, you
helped.
do such good work, we can't afford you.
Yeah, that's what we're up to. Give us money. Okay. What have we got coming up?
I don't fucking know.
Tomorrow there is maybe a stream. It depends on how many people are in your house.
How many Ronalds turn up in my house? I am kicking off the game club with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as the game we will be playing for the month of June. Hopefully the game comes out tomorrow, so if we can get our hands on a copy. And
What do you mean, hopefully the game comes out
Sorry,
tomorrow?
I meant the game
Cancelled before release. You heard it here first.
Hours before the most anticipated title of 2020.
No. My hopefully's got mixed up there. The game comes out tomorrow. Hopefully we can get our hands on a copy and installed and ready to play. I may have had to turn my gaming room into my niece's bedroom for a visit, in which case it might be a bit tricky to do so. In which case I will move the first stream to the weekend, maybe a Sunday. I'll let everyone know with a bit of a heads up in front of that. And then I'll be into full swing of it as of next week as well, getting into the game and really looking forward to it. So if you're planning to play it, you should pick it up and play along with us. Let us know what you think in the Discord, because there'll be a channel in there that's already the Back Pocket Game Club with the little brackets over Ratchet & Clank, so let us know what you think in there. And if you're not part of the Discord, you can join the Discord by becoming a patron, as Nick mentioned earlier before I threw him off with that lovely comment about Will.
But you're going to say it again. Unbelievable. So, what Gus said. And then next week we'll have news. We'll have all the normal stuff that's going on. We don't have any E3 plans.
We're too like the business side of things is unfortunately too busy next week. I don't know why it all fell on the same week.
Yeah.
I was like so pumped. I was like, I'm going to get up at 2 a.m. and watch everything, and I was like, and then go to work at 7 a.m. No.
Yeah, I actually, because I was thinking, if we didn't have this other stuff on, I don't know whether or not this would have been any good, but I think we spoke about it.
A sleepover stream?
Well, that would be good.
Yeah.
We pitched it. This is normally a sort of post-show thing because it's a little company business, but I reckon I can say it here.
Yeah.
That we pitched this when COVID hit last year of, what do we call it? COVID-free 3.
COVID-free 3.
That's right.
And the idea was that if there wasn't going to be an E3 or if global stuff wasn't going to happen, then we could help developers do a local thing. And there was some sort of we got some interest in working with some publishers and developers with that, but then all the global ones just took over and no, we're just doing a stream. So what I thought, I was like, if we didn't have this stuff next week, it would be cool to do 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. daily wrap-up stream where we do Australian E3, where we do cut, Will gets up at 2, watches the things, cuts them down, and we do we watch them together and talk over the news and talk with chat and basically do Australian E3 each morning of the week would be really cool.
That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be good?
We're not doing that.
This is what we are not
We're not doing that. Yeah, to be clarified, this cool thing that I'm talking about is not going to happen next week.
Will, we will need you to be up at 2 a.m. though.
Okay, good.
He knows why. And we... I can't see it. I see it in his bags. I see him taking his bags. Well, wait. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. You know what he's getting? Do you have him there?
No.
Okay, good. This is the end of the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We love doing this show. We love having you guys hanging out. So thank you very much for being... Do you have them?
I just caught on.
Yeah, you just figured out the condoms.
Well, you'll have to stick around.
Yeah.
Post show.
We're done. Let's back it out. Steph, get well soon.
Post show by Raj.
Post show
Post show.
by Raj. By Raj. Oh, wait. Wait. Thank you. No. Rhys, Oronishi, exclamation mark, Tim, Mason, Not Nathan, Slowpunt, LokiCat, Raj, Akrash, Camo, Avexia, Nicrotex, Boxy, The Coastal City, Max Age, Vegabus, and A. Timothy are all our top stitches. Thank you very much to all the patrons for helping make the show possible. Thank you very much to the mods for putting up with us. And now we're done. Speaking of Devilish, stick around for the post show presented by Raj. News next week, Monday and Wednesday. Wow, this document hasn't been updated in a while. A viewing party for the Snyder Cut is coming next Friday.
Cut him off.
Back it out. Thanks, everybody.